Pokémon, the ultimate trainer. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 451, Swampert Dies Together. Zhao Kuang's Swampert was attacked by the water cannon, and its health dropped a lot. Zhang Cheng's Swampert was affected by the poison, and after the attack, the poison also knocked down some of its health. However, the power of the poison is not very strong now, and it has no great impact on Swampert. Swampert, use the waterfall attack. Swampert, let's use the waterfall attack too. Zhang Cheng and Zhao Kuang organized the elves to attack again. The two Swamperts launched the waterfall attack at the same time, and their strong bodies collided fiercely. This time, the two elves were evenly matched. The powerful water element energy collided, and both sides flew backwards. Swampert, use the mud bomb. In the middle of the battle between the two, the rainy weather ended, and Zhang Cheng chose to use ground-based skills to attack. Without the blessing of rainy weather, the advantage of water-based skills was not that great. Ghana. Swampert received Zhang Cheng's order, quickly absorbed the energy in the ground, and condensed a bomb full of mud to hit Zhao Kuang's Swampert. HMPH. I'm just stalling for time, and you can't do anything to me. Zhao Kuang looked at Zhang Cheng, who was frantically commanding the elves to launch an offensive, and said with some pride, Swampert, use defensive. Zhao Kuang started the poison that Zhang Cheng often used, and began to defend continuously, letting the poison toxins defeat the opponent. Swampert received Zhao Kuang's order and quickly formed a transparent defensive barrier in front of him. The mud bomb hit and caused a strong explosion on the barrier, but unfortunately it failed to break through the defense of the barrier. After this period of fighting, the toxins in Zhang Cheng's Swampert became more and more serious, and the health value was only 1/3 of the level, while Zhao Kuang's Swampert now had nearly 2/3 of the health value. Swampert, use the water cannon again. Zhang Cheng once again commanded his Swampert to use a powerful water cannon attack. Ghana. Swampert looked sullen, and endured the pain brought by the poison, opened his mouth and spit out more a ball of water cannon to bombard Zhao Kuang's Swampert. Swampert, let's use the water cannon too. Zhao Kuang's Swampert had just used the defensive skill, and now there was no way to use it immediately. Facing the incoming water cannon, he chose to let his Swampert use the same move to reduce the power of the opponent's skill. Swampert followed Zhao Kuang's command and fired a group of water cannons with power almost the same as the opponent's. The two water cannon shells bombarded each other, and a large amount of water attribute energy burst out, creating a powerful shock wave. The two Swamperts were affected by the shock wave and their health points dropped a little. Zhao Kuang's Swampert was still acceptable, but Zhang Cheng's Swampert was in danger. Under the attack of the shock wave and the influence of the poison, its health points were now very low. Looking at the Swampert that was in a huge disadvantage, Zhang Cheng was not panicked at all and continued to command the Swampert to fight. Swampert, use the poison. Zhang Cheng issued a new order, asking Swampert to use the poison it was good at, trying to put Zhao Kuang's Swampert into a poisonous state. Ghana. A mouthful of strong poison spurted out and quickly shot towards the position where Zhao Kuang's Swampert was standing. Humph. You know you can't beat it, but you want to make my Swampert also poisoned before losing its combat ability? Impossible. Zhao Kuang looked at the poisonous skill that was launched, and his vigilance was actually relaxed. He thought Zhang Cheng would have some big moves, but it turned out to be just a struggle before death. Zhao Kuang thought that Zhang Cheng had no more tricks. Now that he knew that his Swampert was no match, he wanted to drag his Swampert into the water and become poisoned together. Swampert, use the skill that will make him desperate to defend. A playful voice sounded, and Zhao Kuang commanded his Swampert to ensure that it would not be infected with a poison in the safest way. A transparent barrier was generated, which made people look a little desperate. The poisonous venom was sprinkled on it, but it did not cause any effect. It's over, Zhao Kuang sneered when he saw that the poison was stopped. The toxins in Zhang Cheng's Swampert broke out again, and the health value reached an extremely low level. It's time to end it, Zhang Cheng said calmly. Swampert, use reckless attack. Zhang Cheng was waiting for this moment. He used the poison skill to trick the opponent's Swampert into using the defensive skill. At this time, his Swampert was poisoned by the poison and only had a trace of blood left. Through the detection system, Zhang Cheng knew that Zhao Kuang's Swampert did not have a wide area defense skill, which meant that the opponent could not resolve his reckless attack skill at all. Gonna. Swampert received Zhang Cheng's order and directly launched the reckless attack skill. The whole body suddenly burst out with a terrifying force and hit Zhao Kuang's Swampert's body hard. This attack came so suddenly that Zhao Kuang did not react in the first time. Zhao Kuang's Swampert was hit by the reckless attack skill, and the whole body was pushed out, and then fell to the ground like a kite with a broken string, and the health value was directly hit to the last trace. "Hurry up and launch a water gun attack," Zhang Cheng shouted, asking Swampert to launch an attack before the next toxin erupts. The opponent's Swampert will definitely lose its combat capability if it is attacked in its current state. "Gonna," Swampert roared, using up the last bit of energy in its body to send out a stream of water. As soon as the water gun skill was launched, the toxins in its body began to riot, its health points were emptied, and it fell to the ground and lost its combat capability. "Swampert, stand up quickly and use defense." Zhao Kuang reacted and saw the water gun attack coming, and hurriedly commanded. But unfortunately, his command was meaningless. Swampert, who was suddenly hit hard, couldn't stand up at all. His condition was very bad, and he could only watch the water gun skill hit his body. The last remaining health of Zhao Kuang's Swampert was also emptied, and it fell to the ground and lost its combat capability. The two Swamperts actually tied. Zhang Cheng's Swampert was fighting with a poisonous skill from the beginning. Logically speaking, Zhao Kuang should have an absolute advantage. Looking at the two Swamperts who fell to the ground, Zhao Kuang couldn't believe it for a long time. "Well done, come back, Swampert," Zhang Cheng affirmed Swampert's performance and took out the Pokeball to take it back. Zhao Kuang said nothing and also took out the Pokeball to take back his Swampert. Now his mentality has been affected. How can he accept that a good hand of cards has been played to pieces? No, I must adjust my mentality. There are still poison spikes scattered on the field. Although there is one less Pokémon, the outcome is still unknown. Zhao Kuang is worthy of being a veteran king-level trainer. He quickly adjusted his combat status and began to think about the next tactics. Chapter 452 Moltres vs Sun EV. Haha, Brother Zhang's command level is top-notch, not inferior to those champion-level trainers at all. Dean Fanglin outside the field was very surprised to see Zhang Cheng defeat the opponent's Swampert, and was in a good mood. As long as Zhang Cheng can stabilize next and consolidate the advantage of one more Pokémon, the probability of winning is very high. Wang Kun on the other side looked extremely ugly, seeing two Pokémons with similar strength fighting against Swampert, and Zhang Cheng's Swampert was in a poisonous state. He thought Zhao Kuang was stable in this game and could make up for the previous disadvantage, but he was completely defeated by the opponent's command, and a good hand of cards was played to pieces. Soul Eevee, prepare for battle, it's your turn to perform. Moltres. The two people in the field sent out new Pokémons at the same time, and Zhang Cheng chose Moltres. There are two reasons for choosing Moltres. The first reason is that Zhao Kuang has already sent out 3 Pokémons with water attributes, and the possibility of the remaining Pokémons having water attributes is not high, and sending Moltres will not cause the situation of being controlled. The second reason was because of the poison spikes in the field. If they wanted to prevent the Pokémon from falling into a highly poisonous state, they had to send out Pokémon that could fly. The Pokémon Zhao Kuang sent out was Eevee's Psychic-type evolution, Soul, which was a relatively powerful Pokémon among Psychic-type Pokémon. Zhang Cheng turned on the detection system and began to check the various data of Zhao Kuang's Soul. Name, Sun Eevee, level 74, gender, male qualification, a attribute, psychic carrying item, curved spoon, a spoon infused with telekinesis. When the Pokémon carries this item, the power of the psychic skills will be enhanced. Basic skills, collision, tail wagging, help, calling, sand throwing, lightning flash, telekinesis, round pupils, high-speed stars, illusionary light, predicting the future, self-suggestion, morning light, power exchange, psychic power learning skills, destruction light, shadow clone, guard, dream eater, light wall, reflection wall, meditation, trick space, psychic shock, magic flash inherited skills, curse, see-through, auxiliary power, desire, hold on attribute, magic mirror. A Pokémon with this trait can be unaffected by the opponent's transformation skills and bounce back their effects. Notes, Sun Eevee, a sun Pokémon, is one of the evolutions of Eevee. The hair on its body can feel the slightest air flow. Zhao Kuang's Sun Eevee has very high qualifications and levels. The skills he is good at are basically psychic type, and he is proficient in various psychic type skills. In order to get this EV, Zhao Quan must have spent a lot of money or had a good opportunity. It is very rare to see an EV with A-level qualifications. Molten used Divine Bird Smash. Zhang Cheng took the lead and commanded Moltres to attack. Solid E is a Pokemon with very high special attack and special defense. Its weakness lies in its weak physical defense. Solid E is exactly the opposite of those common Rock-type Pokemon. Most Rock-type Pokemon have strong physical attack and physical defense, and special defense is a weak point. Zhang Cheng knows Solid E quite well, so he did not choose to let Moltres use special attack skills, but used its physical attack skill Divine Bird Smash to attack. Moltres vibrated its wings, and a large amount of flying energy covered its fiery red body, rushing towards Solid E on the ground. Solidness, use see-through. Zhao Quan was naturally very clear about Solid E's weaknesses. Seeing that the opponent's Moltres launched a high-powered physical attack skill, he naturally did not dare to take it head-on, and quickly commanded Solid E to respond. The defensive skill can create a very strong barrier, but it is difficult to completely block Moltres' attack. Zhao Quan chose to let Sunbreeze use see-through. The see-through skill can directly understand the opponent's attack, see through it, and then dodge it. A special energy attached to Sunbreeze's eyes. With the help of this energy, Sunbreeze easily avoided Moltres' attack this time. Well done, Sunbreeze used a strong mental attack. Zhao Quan was very satisfied with Sunbreeze's performance. Facing the legendary beast Moltres, he did not panic at all and could deal with it calmly. Sunbreeze received the affirmation of the trainer, and his fighting spirit soared. He controlled a strong mental force to attack Moltres. Molten Zog, use your wings to attack. Zhang Cheng is now the dominant party. Since the opponent wants to attack head-on, he will naturally accompany him to the end. The rich flying energy attached to Moltres' wings. Moltres quickly approached Sunbreeze, and its wide wings hit Sunbreeze's body, causing it considerable damage. At the same time, the strong mental power sent by Sun Eevee also hit Moltres, and Moltres suddenly felt a sharp pain in the head, and its health value dropped a lot. Moltres, cheer up and continue to attack. Use the Divine Bird Slam again. Zhang Cheng used attack instead of defense, and continued to let Flame Chicken use physical attack skills to attack, not giving Sun Eevee a little initiative. Flame Chicken flapped its wings, using the power of inertia to continuously absorb flying energy while rushing towards Sun Eevee. What a difficult guy. Zhao Quan felt a headache watching Moltres attacking with physical attack skills again and again. Sun Eevee, create a reflection wall at the fastest speed. Zhao Quan did not choose to use the defense skill to resist. Defending the barrier could not guarantee that he would not be hurt. Even if he could survive this attack, there would be a steady stream of attacks later. After comprehensive consideration, Zhao Quan chose to let Sun Eevee use the reflection wall skill. The reflection wall can weaken the power of the opponent's physical attack skills for a period of time, reducing the damage to itself by half. Sun Eevee is very proficient in controlling psychic energy, and creates a special barrier in a very short time. Just as the reflection wall was formed, Moltres' attack came, and a large amount of flying energy bombarded the body of Solid. Solid, who should have been seriously injured by this attack, was only reduced to half of its health due to the help of the reflection wall, which blocked Moltres' fierce attack. Saucer, use Morning Light to heal your injuries. Zhao Quan chose the safest way to keep his Pokemon in a relatively healthy state. If the health is too low, there is a risk of being killed instantly. Solid E faced the sunlight and created a gentle energy to wrap itself. Under the guidance of Solid E, this energy began to repair its injuries. Molten, we don't need to recover, continue to attack, and use Swallow Return. Zhang Cheng hurried to let Moltres attack, so as not to let Solid E recover too much health. Chapter 453 Defeat Sun Eevee. Moltres rushed forward quickly and hit Solid E with a Swallow Return attack, but it did not cause much damage. With the protection of the reflection wall and Solid E's own continuous blood recovery, Moltres' attack this time was not very effective. Solid E used the Morning Light to restore most of its health and was already in a very healthy state. Moltres, attack with Jet Flame. Zhang Cheng found that the reflection wall had too much impact on Moltres and could no longer use physical attack skills. He decisively changed tactics and commanded Moltres to use special attack skills. Moltres' special attack was higher than its physical attack. In the presence of the reflection wall, the effect of using special attack would be better. Although Celebi's special defense was very high, Moltres' special attack was not low either. Moltres opened its beak and spit out a long string of flames, with a large amount of fire attribute energy in the flames attacking Celebi. Saurus, use Phantom Beam. Celebi was now in a very healthy state after recovering its health with the Morning Light skill just now. In this case, Zhao Kuang was full of confidence and commanded Celebi to fight head-on. A strong psychic energy burst out from the body of Celebi, forming an illusionary ray of light that hit Moltres. At the same time, the flames ejected by Moltres also hit Celebi's body, singeing a lot of its beautiful hair. Celebi, use meditation. Zhao Kuang planned to let Celebi conquer its own attributes while Celebi was in a good state and the reflection wall had not disappeared. The meditation skill was activated, and Celebi entered the meditation state. A large amount of psychic energy flowed into its body, enhancing its special defense and special attack. Molten, we use Feather. Zhang Cheng did not rush to attack anymore, because after the previous battle, Moltres' state had been knocked down a lot. If it was not treated in time, it might be easily killed in the next battle. You must know that Celebi's special attack is very high. Now after the increase of the meditation skill, the power of the skills used will be even stronger. If you are not careful, you may capsize in the gutter. Moltres flew high into the sky, gently flapping its two huge wings, and the flying energy quickly shot out, turning into little starlights, and began to heal Moltres' injuries. The two sides did not collide in this round. One amplified its special attack and special defense, and the other restored its own health. Since the opponent's Sun 1 is not as good as the special defense, it has been enhanced, so let's use physical attack skills. Zhang Cheng looked at the reflection wall that had fallen off and decided to let Moltres continue to attack. Moltres, use charged flame attack. After Moltres received the order from the trainer, a large amount of flames emerged from its huge wings. With a blessing of powerful fire attribute energy, Moltres turned into a beam of fire and quickly rushed towards Celebi. Let me show you how powerful the Celebi's special attack has been amplified. Seeing that the opponent dared to let Moltres continue to attack, Zhao Kuang immediately planned to let Celebi use a high-powered psychic skill to teach the opponent a lesson. Souls, use Future Sight. Zhao Kuang chose to let Souls use Future Sight. This skill will have a delayed damage. Although it takes a long time to take effect, its power is extremely strong, far exceeding other psychic skills of the same type. Souls transformed the energy in his body into a bright ball of light and quickly threw it at Moltres that rushed into the air. The energy ball entered Moltres' body without any hindrance, but there was no other reaction, as if it had disappeared. Moltres also took the opportunity to come to Souls, and its body bathed in fire hit Souls hard. Souls' health value is reduced by nearly 1/3. Souls, use psychic power. Zhao Kuang planned to let Souls use another psychic skill, combined with Future Sight that was about to take effect, to deal a high burst of damage in an instant. Souls was also very skilled in this tactic, and quickly created another psychic attack to attack Moltres. Haha, it's not that easy to kill my Moltres instantly. Zhang Cheng sneered and shouted to Moltres. Moltres, use the flying skill. Moltres raised his head and cried out, using the flying energy to quickly fly high into the sky, escaping the attack range of Celebi's skill this time. The strong spirit did not hit Moltres, but the energy ball created by the Future Sight skill had already entered Moltres' body, and even if Moltres flew high in the sky, it could not be avoided. The Future Sight skill took effect, and the light ball in Moltres' body exploded instantly, causing extremely serious internal injuries to it, and its health value dropped rapidly to only 1/3. Moltres endured the pain caused by the Future Sight skill, and quickly used inertia to fall, releasing the energy condensed by the flying skill, and hit Celebi's body hard. Celebi was continuously attacked by powerful physical attack skills, so naturally it was not much better, and its health value dropped to only half, but compared to Moltres, it was in a better state. Soaring, use Reflection Wall. Zhao Kuang realized that Moltres' physical attack skills were still very threatening, so he planned to use the same trick again and let Soaring create a reflective wall. Soaring also cooperated with his trainer very well, and quickly used psychic energy to form a wall exactly like the previous one. It's too naive to think that you can resist Moltres' attack just by relying on a wall. Moltres, use Divine Bird Slam again. Zhang Cheng was very confident in Moltres' strength. Soaring, which only had 2/5 of its health, could not withstand Moltres' fierce attack even with a blessing of Reflection Wall. After receiving Zhang Cheng's instructions, Moltres flapped its wings violently, attaching all the energy absorbed from its body and outside to its body, and rushed towards Soaring, which was protected by the reflection wall. Divine Bird Slam accurately hit Soaring's body, and this time Divine Bird Slam directly hit Soaring's vital point. Suffering a horrible attack, even with the protection of the reflective wall, the Sun Eevee felt a little overwhelmed, and only had a trace of health left. Fortunately, there was the protection of the barrier, otherwise, it would have lost its ability to fight. Chapter 454 Old Man Dragon. However, the current Celebi is no different from having lost its combat capability. After being hit by the Divine Bird Slam, Celebi fell into a cowering state. As a flying-type ultimate move, Divine Bird Slam has two additional effects. The first is that there is a high probability of hitting the opponent's vital points, and the second is that there is a probability of causing the opponent's Pokémon to fall into a cowering state. Moltres' first two Divine Bird Slams did not trigger any additional effects, but this time it triggered two effects in succession, which can be said to have used all its luck on this attack. Luck is originally a part of strength. The battle changes rapidly, and any situation may be 30% luck and 70% effort. Molten Zog used the last attack to take Celebi away. Moltres received the order from the trainer and used the handsome air slash. Two sharp air blades quickly slashed Celebi, who was in a cowering state and could not move. Celebi's health was emptied and fell to the ground, losing its combat capability. Moltres once again showed its power in the battle and achieved a good record. Moltres' record has never disappointed Zhang Cheng. Now the situation has completely come to Zhang Cheng's hands. He still has 4 Pokémon that can fight, while Zhao Kuang has only 2 left. Come back, Sully. Zhao Kuang took back Sully with an expressionless face. Sully was a Pokémon that he spent a lot of resources to cultivate. He originally wanted to rely on it to create some opportunities, thinking that he could at least defeat one of the opponent's Pokémon, but he didn't expect the result to be so unexpected. Outside the arena, Dean Fanglin was naturally smiling and very happy, while Wang Kun had a look of having eaten shit all the time. It's decided to be you, Old Man Dragon. Zhao Kuang's 5th Pokémon to fight was the Dragon Pokémon Old Man Dragon, which should be considered one of his trump cards. Old Man Dragon appeared in the battlefield, and Zhang Cheng quickly turned on the detection system to check its specific situation. Name, Old Man Dragon, Level 74, Gender, Male. Qualification, Attributes, General, Dragon Carrot Item, Dragon Fang, Hard Teeth. The power of Dragon skills used by the Pokémon will be enhanced after carrying this item. Basic skills, Echo, Harmony, Tornado, Hold, Serpent's Glare, Light Wall, Dragon's Wrath, Nature's Grace, Dragon's Breath, Mystic Guardian, Magical Power, Dragon Wave, Fly, Giant Voice, Reverse Scale Learning Skills. 100,000 volts, Flame Jet, Surf, Hold, Ice Beam, Shadow Clone, Energy Ball, Dragon Claw, Feather Roost. Inherited skills, Dragon Dive, White Mist, Tornado Blade. Storm characteristics, Furious. For a Pokémon with this characteristic, the special attack will be improved when the opponent's attack reduces its health to less than half. Notes, Old Man Dragon, a leisurely Pokémon, is very kind-hearted, but once it is enraged, it will use a very fierce breath to destroy the surroundings. Zhao Kuang's Old Man Dragon has the same qualifications as Sun Eevee, both of which are A-level qualifications, which are already top qualifications among non-mythical beasts. The power of Dragon-type Pokémon is unquestionable. Although the overall racial value of Old Man Dragon is not high, it has extremely high special attack, and also has the characteristic of Raging Fire that matches the racial value. The characteristic of Raging Fire can increase the special attack after its own health is hit by half, making Old Man Dragon's attack power even stronger. Old Man Dragon used Dragon Wave. Zhao Kuang made full use of Old Man Dragon's advantages and commanded Old Man Dragon to use powerful special attack Dragon-type skills to attack. After receiving Zhao Kuang's instructions, Old Man Dragon opened his dragon mouth and turned the dragon attribute energy in his body into circles of ripples and shot them at Moltres. Molten Zog used Air Slash to break the Dragon Wave. Zhang Cheng used Defense as defense and commanded Moltres to use his best flying skills to attack, trying to break these dragon waves with air blades. The dragon-like Old Man Dragon has a resistance to fire-type skills, so Moltres' attack now needs to be based on flying-type skills. The sharp air blade and the dragon wave emitted by the Old Man Dragon collided with each other, and in the end, the dragon wave of the old man dragon was slightly better. After shattering the air blade, the remaining weak dragon energy hit Moltres. However, the power of these energies is not very strong. After being weakened by the air slash, it only loses 1/5 of its health when it hits Moltres. Old man dragon, use the snake stare. Zhao Kuang did not choose to continue the attack, but commanded the old man dragon to use the transformation skill snake stare. This skill can paralyze the opponent's elves. The speed of the old man dragon is very slow. Zhao Kuang wants to use the paralysis skill to reduce the speed of Moltres so that the speed difference between the two elves will not be too large. The two dragon eyes of the old man dragon widened, staring at Moltres, and a special energy came out of his eyes. Moltres, use hold. Zhang Cheng certainly would not give the opponent this opportunity. It is not so easy to restrict Moltres. Moltres gathered the general energy around it, forming a protective barrier in front of it, isolating the energy fired by Old Dragon. Moltres, use the Divine Bird Smash. Zhang Cheng took the initiative to attack, commanding Moltres to use the powerful Divine Bird Smash. After receiving the order, Moltres raised his head to the sky and let out a long cry, skillfully attaching the flying energy to his whole body, and then flapped his wings to rush towards Old Dragon. Old Dragon, use the flying skill to avoid a Divine Bird Smash. Zhao Kuang's Old Dragon mastered many flying skills. Seeing Moltres launch the Divine Bird Smash, he chose to let Old Dragon use the mechanism of the flying skill to escape from Moltres' attack range. Old Dragon swung its tail and flew into the air with the help of the flying energy. But unfortunately, Old Dragon's speed was its most fatal point. Although Old Dragon had accelerated its flight with all its strength, it was unable to fly high into the sky before Moltres rushed over. The Divine Bird Slam skill hit the body of the Old Dragon fiercely. After being attacked, the Old Dragon's condensed flying system was dispersed, and the whole body fell to the ground like a kite with a broken string. The fierce attack of the Moltres directly hit the Old Dragon to half of its health. The Old Dragon stood up from the ground, with thick flames spurting out of his eyes. The Raging Furious characteristic was triggered, and the Old Dragon's temper became very irritable, and the special attack was increased. Old Dragon, use the most powerful Dragon Wave. Zhao Kuang saw that the Old Dragon's characteristic was triggered, and he had no idea of continuing to use the transformation skills. Now he needed to maximize the characteristics of the Old Dragon and let it keep launching high-powered special attack skills. The Old Dragon roared, and a large amount of dragon waves spewed out of the dragon's mouth, fiercely attacking the Moltres. Chapter 455, The Dragon King vs. Old Man Dragon. Molten, let's use the storm attack. Zhang Cheng commanded Moltres to use the powerful special attack flying skill storm to fight against the dragon wave of the old man. Moltres frantically flapped its wings, gathering all the flying energy around it, creating a storm with extremely strong lethality. After the storm condensed to the maximum extent, Moltres flapped its wings fiercely, blowing the storm towards the old man in the distance. The attacks of the two elves staggered each other and hit each other hard. The old man was swept into the air by the storm, and countless wind blades cut its body, making it roar in pain. Moltres was hit by a complete dragon wave of the old man, and its entire body flew backwards and hit the edge of the battlefield directly. This dragon wave was the result of the old man's concentrated strength, coupled with the rage of the characteristics. The power of the skill was very terrifying. Moltres had been injured in the previous battle, and now it was hit twice in a row by the old man, and its health value has been reduced to a relatively dangerous level. Old Man Dragon, use the Dragon Breath skill. Zhao Kuang struck while the iron was hot and continued to command Old Man Dragon to attack, trying to quickly defeat Moltres. Molten Zog, use flying to dodge. Zhang Cheng also chose to use the flying skill to dodge, not daring to collide head-on with Old Man Dragon. After receiving Zhang Cheng's instructions, Moltres flapped its wings and flew high, trying to escape from the attack range of Old Man Dragon's skills. It's useless. Dragon Breath skills are not so easy to dodge. Zhao Kuang looked at Moltres who wanted to escape and said confidently. A large amount of Dragon Breath spewed out of Old Man Dragon's nose, and these Dragon Breaths kept floating into the sky, flying very fast, and came directly in front of Moltres. Moltres, which was sprinting into the sky, had no time to react and directly hit the Dragon Breath created by Old Man Dragon. Moltres, which was in a state of residual blood, was hit by the Dragon Breath without any preparation, and naturally there was no possibility of resisting it. Moltres lost its support and fell quickly from the air to the ground. Thank you for your hard work. Come back, Moltres. Zhang Cheng took out the Pokeball and retrieved Moltres before it landed to avoid more serious injuries. This old dragon is quite strong. I hope it can turn the tide. Wang Kun looked at the situation of the game and said somewhat helplessly. Now he has seen through it, and can only rely on Zhao Kuang's performance, and there is no point in being anxious. Ding Fanglin on the other side has always been smiling. Now Zhang Cheng still has the advantage, and he is not panicking at all. Your old dragon is indeed something, but that's all, Zhang Cheng affirmed Zhao Kuang's old dragon, and then threw out a new Pokeball. Get ready for battle, Thorn Dragon King. In order to deal with this old dragon, Zhang Cheng sent out Thorn Dragon King. There is mutual restraint between dragon-type Pokémons. Now the condition of the old dragon is not very good. As long as the Thorn Dragon King launches a strong attack, the old dragon will not be able to resist. The purpose of Zhang Cheng sending out the Thorn Dragon King is to defeat the old dragon, or to exchange them, because he still has 2 Fantasy Beast Pokémons, and the Mega Evolution has not been used. He didn't believe that Zhao Kuang's final trump card would be strong enough to defeat Zeroy and Super Diancie in succession. HMPH. You dare to use a dragon-type elf to fight against the old dragon with a triggered characteristic? I think you are looking for death. Zhao Kuang saw Zhang Cheng sending out a dragon-type elf and felt that the opponent was just giving it away for free. Really? Then let's see if your old dragon can withstand the fierce attack of the Thorn Dragon King, Zhang Cheng said jokingly. Thorn Dragon King directly launched the reverse scale, Zhang Cheng said without saying a word, and directly commanded the Thorn Dragon King to use the dragon-type ultimate move, the reverse scale. The old dragon's blood volume is now below half, and as long as it is hit by the Thorn Dragon King once, it will directly lose its combat ability, and the reverse scale skill will launch 3 consecutive attacks. The old dragon can either kill the Thorn Dragon King in one hit and not give the Thorn Dragon King a chance to attack, or find a way to defend against these 3 reverse scale attacks. But both of these situations are obviously unrealistic. The special defense of the Thorn Dragon King is not weak. Even if the old man dragon has a very high special attack, plus the double restraint of the attribute, it is impossible to instantly kill the Thorn Dragon King with full health. This is the advantage brought by the blood volume. And it is even more impossible to defend against 3 consecutive reverse scale attacks. The skill can defend once, but what about the subsequent second and third attacks? The Thorn Dragon King's eyes are firm. After receiving Zhang Cheng's order, he frantically absorbs dragon energy. All the dragon energy around is sucked into the Thorn Dragon King's body. The manic dragon energy forms a very terrifying offensive under the control of the Thorn Dragon King. The Thorn Dragon King opened his dragon mouth, and a deep yellow reverse scale energy was emitted, attacking the old man dragon. Damn it, he actually launched the reverse scale directly. Zhao Kuang was very angry after seeing the Thorn Dragon King's fighting style. The opponent clearly wanted to use the Thorn Dragon King to fight the old man dragon to the end at all costs. Using the reverse scale skill is equivalent to giving up defense, and there will be huge side effects afterwards. Generally speaking, no one will choose to use this extreme skill directly at the beginning of the battle. Old man dragon, use hold to resist. Zhao Kuang has not thought of a way to break the situation now. He can only let old man dragon use the hold skill to resist the first reverse scale attack and delay for a certain period of time for him to think about countermeasures. According to Zhao Kuang's order, old man dragon quickly built a barrier in front of him. Old man dragon also felt the horror of the reverse scale skill. Condensing this barrier consumed a lot of his strength in order to ensure that he could resist this attack. A large amount of reverse scale energy bombarded and hit the transparent barrier. The barrier shook wildly and finally barely resisted this attack. But just when Old Man Dragon had just resolved this attack and held the barrier to dissipate, the second reverse scale attack of the Thorn Dragon King came again. There is no other way. We can only fight hard. Old Man Long uses Dragon Wave, in this short period of time. Zhao Kuang could not think of any good way. Facing the second wave of reverse scale energy that had already attacked, he could only let Old Man Long collide head-on. In fact, Old Man Long can also use the reverse scale skill, but unfortunately, the physical attack skill of reverse scale is very low, and the effect of using the reverse scale skill is not good. Old Man Long tried his best to create Dragon Wave again, and bombarded it with the incoming reverse scale energy. The two energies collided wildly and finally dissipated together in the air. Seeing this scene, Zhang Cheng was also somewhat impressed by the special attack strength of Old Man Long. He was able to fight against the reverse scale skill with Dragon Wave without losing the upper hand. Chapter 456 Supergiant Beedrill. The old man dragon resisted the second reverse scale attack, but it had no way to deal with the third attack. The Thorn Dragon King roared and unleashed all the reverse scale skills in his body. When the third attack was launched, the reverse scaled energy in the Thorn Dragon King's body was completely consumed, and he also fell into a state of confusion. The old man dragon was very slow. It had just used the Dragon Wave, and it was too late to gather energy to resist the third reverse scaled energy. The violent reverse scaled energy hit the old man dragon's abdomen fiercely. Under the attribute Restrained, the already powerful reverse scale skill burst out with even more terrifying power. The old man dragon's health value was quickly emptied, and he fell to the ground and lost his ability to fight. The Thorn Dragon King defeated the half-blood old man dragon at the cost of falling into a state of confusion. This was the best result in Zhang Cheng's opinion. Now he still had 3 elves in full state. How could Zhao Kuang turn the tables? Wanting to defeat the powerful dragon-type Pokemon Thorn Dragon King, and then defeat the electric-type Phantom and the fairy-type Phantom, this is impossible for Zhang Cheng to accomplish, unless the opponent's last Pokemon is a first-level god that can Mega Evolve. Old man dragon, come back and rest. In this situation, Zhao Kuang's expression was very calm, without much fluctuation. Wang Kun below stared at Zhao Kuang with his eyes, as if he was also expecting him to turn the tide and complete a 1-on-3. As for Fang Lin, he had already opened champagne to celebrate in advance. He didn't believe that Zhao Kuang could win at all. Show your last trump card. If you are not sure of defeating my Diancie, I advise you to give up in advance. Zhang Cheng looked at Zhao Kuang and said. Diancie is Zhang Cheng's signature Pokemon. The trainers in the entire Magic City basically know that under the current circumstances, if Zhao Kuang's last attack Pokemon can't even defeat Diancie, let alone a 1-on-3. In this case, then do as you wish. Zhao Kuang took out the last Pokeball and threw it directly into the battlefield. My last trump card, Beedrill. The last Pokemon sent out by Zhao Kuang was unexpectedly a Beedrill. Pokemon like Beedrill can be found everywhere, and their qualifications are generally low. Zhang Cheng has basically never encountered this kind of Pokemon in battles. But he did not expect that in the current battle between top-level trainers, he could still see a Pokemon like Beedrill, and it was even used as the trump card. Zhang Cheng saw the Beedrill appearing, and he did not underestimate the enemy at all. This Beedrill must have its unique features, otherwise it would not be Zhao Kuang's trump card. The detection system was turned on, and Zhang Cheng played the Pokemon with full points, and began to carefully check the various data of Beedrill. Name, Beedrill, level 75, gender, male qualification, attributes, poison, insect carried items, silver powder, powder emitting silver light. The power of insect attribute skills used by the Pokemon will be enhanced when it is carried by the Pokemon. Basic skills, poison needle, silk spinning, insect bite, hardening, double needle, rage, random attack, chase, gathering energy, venom shock, malicious pursuit, poison spike, missile needle, poison attack, high speed movement, reckless action, deadly needle learning skills, sword dance, shadow clone, hold on, sludge bomb, tile splitting, feather roost, swallow return, extreme turnaround, tooth for tooth, cross scissors, stalking, wild dancing and swinging. Inherited skills, none. Characteristics, sniper. The power of a Pokemon with this characteristic will be enhanced when its skills hit the opponent's Pokemon's vital points. Note, Beedrill, a poisonous bee Pokemon, is the evolution of the Iron Shell Kun. The poison needle on its tail is very dangerous. Zhao Kuang thought that this Beedrill had a very rare A-level qualification. If the 3 starter Pokemons had reached the A-level qualification, everyone might think it was normal, but this Pokemon's qualification was relatively high. But if a Beedrill could reach the A-level qualification, it would be very hard to believe. Pokemon like Beedrill rarely have even B-level postures. Beedrill itself has no inherited skills, but it can learn many skills. From the data, it can be seen that Zhao Kuang has invested a lot of money in this Beedrill and cultivated it into his strongest combat power. In terms of level, Beedrill is also ahead of other Pokemons and has reached level 75. Beedrill, Mega Evolution. Zhao Kuang took out the evolution crystal that he had not used for a long time at this critical moment, and a strong poison energy and insect energy flowed into Beedrill's body. Beedrill's body shape began to change, and the stinger on the tail became very sharp, which was very oppressive. After Mega Evolution into Super Beedrill, the original Sniper characteristics also changed and became adaptability characteristics. The characteristic of adaptability will increase the additional bonus effect of the Pokémon's own skills from the original 50% to 100%. In other words, the poison and insect skills used by Super Beedrill can deal double damage. If that were the case, Super Beedrill would not be a big deal, but the most terrifying thing is that after Beedrill Mega evolves into Super Beedrill, its physical attack value is directly maxed out, from the original 90 to 150, comparable to the double attack value of Super Diancie. And the speed is also increased to 145, which is comparable to the speed of the mythical beast Zeraora. With a physical attack of up to 150 and extremely fast speed, plus the double power of the own skills, and the power of the insect skills amplified by the item Silver Powder. Thinking of this, Zhang Cheng's eyelids twitched wildly. The seemingly ordinary Super Beedrill, with its characteristics and extreme racial values, is so terrifying. It is no exaggeration to say that the power of this Mega Beedrill using the Bug-type skill is not weaker than the Light of Destruction used by Mega Diancie. Every attack is a powerful Light of Destruction. What a terrifying existence. Today I will let you see how terrifying the power of this Pokémon that is not favored by all trainers can be. Zhao Kuang's eyes were full of madness at this time. He wanted to use his Mega Diancie to penetrate 3 and complete the impossible feat. Super Beedrill, use the cross scissors. Zhao Kuang commanded the Super Beedrill to launch an attack and use the high-powered Bug-type skill cross scissors. After receiving the order, the Super Beedrill came to the front of the Thorn Dragon King in a flash, raised the sharp poison needle in its hand, and formed a cross to attack the Thorn Dragon King. At this time, the Thorn Dragon King was in chaos because he had just used the reverse scale and had no power to fight back. The cross scissors launched by the Super Beedrill accurately hit the Thorn Dragon King, and the Thorn Dragon King, who was full of health, was directly beaten to less than 1/5 of his life. Chapter 457, Desperate Zhao Kuang. This is a full-blooded Thorn Dragon King. The Thorn Dragon King's defense and health are both above average. The Beedrill can actually deal such high damage using the insect-type skills. The power of insect-type skills is generally low. The cross scissors, as a relatively powerful insect-type skill, has an attack value of only 70. But in the hands of the Super Beedrill, it can burst out with power comparable to that of a cannon water cannon, and it also has an extreme speed. The Thorn Dragon King suffered such a terrible injury in an instant, and woke up directly from the state of confusion under great pain, and kept roaring in pain. What a strong Super Beedrill! Wang Kun stood up in surprise in the rest area. He almost killed the Thorn Dragon King of the same level with one blow. What a terrifying existence! In sharp contrast to Wang Kun is Fang Lin. When he saw Zhao Kuang sending out the Beedrill, Fang Lin inexplicably wanted to laugh. But now he can't laugh anymore. The scene in front of him brought him a great visual impact. Fang Lin rubbed his eyes, as if he couldn't believe that the scene in front of him was real. The Super Beedrill is indeed not comparable to the ordinary Beedrill. It is estimated that it is impossible to reproduce a second Beedrill like yours. Zhang Cheng's face was calm, not affected by the heavy blow to the Dragon King. He looked up at Fang Lin and said, "The Super Beedrill of A-level qualification can be said to be the king of all insects. How do you know that my Beedrill is of A-level qualification?" Zhao Kuang said in surprise. "Isn't this scene enough to judge?" Zhang Cheng said with a smile. It almost stabbed the Dragon King with a casual attack. "If you say that a Beedrill of this strength is S-level, I might believe it. Of course, only mythical beasts with S-level qualifications can appear." Zhang Cheng was just joking. "Since you know how terrifying my Super Beedrill is, don't struggle, just admit defeat." Zhao Kuang returned what Zhang Cheng said to him before. "Oh," Zhang Cheng said with a joking expression, "I just said that your Mega Beedrill is very strong, but this Mega Beedrill is no match for me. Haha, you still want to be stubborn? Then let me slap you in the face with reality." Zhao Kuang was furious when he saw Zhang Cheng's expression, and quickly commanded the Mega Beedrill to attack. Super Beedrill, use the Fatal Needle to kill the Thorn Dragon King. Zhao Kuang is very familiar with the fighting method of the Mega Beedrill. When facing the elves with residual blood, he chooses to use the Fatal Needle skill to attack. The power of the Fatal Needle is lower than that of the Cross Shears, but this skill has a very strong additional effect. That is, as long as the elves use this skill to defeat other elves, the attack power will be greatly improved. Not a large increase, but a huge increase. Only the Mega Beedrill can defeat the Thorn Dragon King with this attack. With its own high physical attack, plus adaptability and props, as well as the additional huge special attack. With these multiple blessings, the Mega Beedrill can completely kill all elves of the same level with one skill. Unless the opponent has extremely high defense or attribute resistance, it will be like paper and will be killed instantly by Beedrill. After receiving Zhao Kuang's order, Super Beedrill's eyes became cold. And it gathered all the insect energy on the spikes on its tail and stabbed towards the Dragon King. The Fatal Needle skill with ordinary power, but in the hands of Super Beedrill, it felt like a big move. Come on, Zhang Cheng naturally knew the effect of the Fatal Needle, but he did not have any worries. He commanded confidently, Dragon King, use the water soak, ha. After receiving the order from the trainer, Dragon King quickly accumulated water element energy to form a special water column. Under the control of Dragon King, the water column sprayed towards Super Beedrill. Water soak? What kind of skill is this? Zhao Kuang was a little confused when he heard Zhang Cheng's command. He felt that he seemed to have seen this skill somewhere. Not good. Super Beedrill, get out of the way. Zhao Kuang suddenly realized something. His face was full of panic, and he quickly asked Super Beedrill to dodge. But the speed of the Super Beedrill was too fast. When it heard Zhao Kuang's order, the Super Beedrill's body had already hit the incoming water column. The Super Beedrill came into contact with the water column and did not suffer any damage, but the water elemental power strangely penetrated into the Super Beedrill's body. Then the Super Beedrill's attributes were forcibly changed, from the dual attributes of poison and insect to a single water attribute. After losing the insect attribute, the fatal sting launched by the Super Beedrill was much weaker, but it was enough to deal with the Thorn Dragon King. The fatal sting pierced the Thorn Dragon King's body, emptying its remaining life points. After defeating the Thorn Dragon King with a fatal sting, the Super Beedrill's physical attack was greatly enhanced. Zhao Kuang looked at the defeated Thorn Dragon King but was not happy at all, because the Super Beedrill lost the most important insect attribute. The skill of soaking in water is not offensive at all. In normal battles, this move is rarely used by water-type elves, and the effect is not great. But it is perfect for dealing with Super Beedrill, because of the adaptability. Super Beedrill can get an additional 100% increase when using its own skills. But now that the attribute has been forcibly changed by the water skill, Super Beedrill can only get this 100% bonus when using water skills. Super Beedrill will not use any water attribute skills at all, which means that the attack power of the current Beedrill is directly cut in half. Well done, come back and rest, Thorn Dragon King. Zhang Cheng was very satisfied with Thorn Dragon King's performance. It was obviously Zhang Cheng's Pokémon that was defeated, but it was Zhao Kuang who was uncomfortable. Originally, as long as this Fatal Needle defeated Thorn Dragon King and increased the huge physical attack, he could make Super Beedrill kill everyone in 1 second and complete an impossible comeback. But now, although the Fatal Needle has been triggered and obtained a huge physical attack, it has lost the most important attribute bonus. Super Beedrill is not strong in high physical attack. There are many Pokémon with high physical attack, such as King of Leaf, Super Big Mouth, Super Diancie, etc. The reason why Mega Beedrill can stand out among many Pokémons is its adaptability. Now, because of the soak skill of King Thorn, this characteristic is directly abolished. Even with a physical attack increased by the Fatal Sting, Mega Beedrill's damage will only be lower than before. Although King Thorn was defeated, it cut off Mega Beedrill's left and right arms. Now Mega Beedrill does not have much capital to fight against the Phantom Beasts. Because although Mega Beedrill has extreme physical attack and speed, this is at the expense of other attributes. Mega Beedrill's double defense, special attack and health are all very low. If it cannot kill instantly, with the attack power of the Phantom Beasts, Mega Beedrill can't withstand their attacks at all. Chapter 458 Plasma Ultimate Impact. The situation on the field is ever-changing, and trainers who don't know about Mega Beedrill simply can't understand the mystery. Just like Wang Kun and Fang Lin who were watching the game in the audience. Wang Kun saw Mega Beedrill defeat King Thorn, and a happy expression appeared on his face, thinking that Zhao Kuang was about to turn the tables. Dean Fang Lin became nervous, because he only saw the horror of Mega Beedrill instantly defeating King Thorn, but didn't know what it meant for Mega Beedrill to lose its bug attribute. You deliberately let me command Mega Beedrill to attack, and then use this trick to destroy the characteristics of Mega Beedrill, Zhao Kuang said with an ugly face. You are right, I know Mega Beedrill quite well. Now without the blessing of the adaptability characteristic, Mega Beedrill is like a broken left and right arm. Zeraora, it's your turn to fight. After Zhang Cheng finished speaking, he threw the next Pokeball, and Zeraora appeared on the battlefield. The poison spikes in the battlefield were triggered, and Zeraora looked painful and fell into a highly poisonous state. You actually have another mythical beast. Zhao Kuang's originally ugly face was completely distorted at this time, and his eyes were full of despair. This guy has such a powerful Pokemon besides Diancie. Wang Kun was also a little surprised to see Zeraora appear. As for Feng Lin, he did not show anything and was still very calm. He was the first to know that Zhang Cheng had subdued Zeraora. Zhang Cheng chose Zeraora to deal with Beedrill in order to catch up with the opponent in speed. Zeraora is also a speed-type Pokemon with a physical attack of up to 143. Are you still so confident in your Mega Beedrill now? Zhang Cheng looked at Zhao Kuang and said with a smile. HMPH, Zhao Kuang snorted and continued, don't be happy too soon. My Mega Beedrill just defeated the Thorn Dragon King and got a lot of physical attack bonuses. Even if it loses its attributes, it can still fight. Really? Then I'll wait and see. Zhang Cheng gave an order to Zeraora. Zeraora, use Plasma Lightning Fist. Zhang Cheng asked Zeraora to use its exclusive high-powered skill Plasma Lightning Fist right from the start. This skill can not only cause high damage to the enemy Pokemon, but also fill itself with plasma current. All general skills used later can enjoy the power bonus of the electric system's own skills. Super Beedrill, use all your strength and use cross scissors. Zhao Kuang also planned to fight hard, letting the Super Beedrill burst out with all its strength and fight Zeraora directly. Super Beedrill has no way out. Its defense is very low. If it defends, as long as the barrier is broken, it will definitely lose. Even though Zeraora was poisoned, Beedrill had no time to waste and could only suppress the opponent through attack. Beedrill had a firm look in her eyes and used the spikes in her hand to absorb the insect energy and attack Zeraora. Without the power of her own system, Beedrill gave people a much less sense of oppression. Fortunately, she had an additional increase in physical attack, otherwise Beedrill might not have the capital to fight Zeraora head-on. Although Zeraora's attack power was not as strong as Beedrill's, it had a natural advantage, and the basic power of the skills it used was very high. Zeraora's Plasma Lightning Fist came quickly and collided with the cross scissors formed by Beedrill's double stingers. A large amount of electric current and insect energy continued to burst out, and the offensive of both sides was very powerful. Some of the electric current and insect energy spread out during the collision and hit the bodies of the two elves. Zeraora's health value was slightly reduced, but Beedrill was unlucky. After being hit by the soak skill of the Thorn Dragon King, the Mega Beedrill is now a water attribute, and the water attribute Pokemon is most afraid of electric skills. The spreading electric energy hit the fragile Beedrill, directly knocking off a quarter of its health. This shows how extreme the attributes of the Mega Beedrill are. When its attributes are restrained, just some of the aftermath of the battle is enough to hurt it like this. The confrontation between the two Pokemons continued, and in the end, the Mega Beedrill's attack power was slightly better, dispersing Zeraora's Plasma Lightning Fist and piercing the sharp spikes into Zeraora's body. Zeraora suffered a double attack from the Mega Beedrill and the poison, and its health was quickly knocked off by half. After losing 100% of its power bonus, the Mega Beedrill was still able to cause such high damage. Zhang Cheng secretly thanked himself for thinking of the soak skill early on, which directly restricted the Mega Beedrill to death. Zhao Kuang, the next attack is Zeraora's strongest attack. If your Mega Beedrill can't take it, then this battle should end here. Zhang Cheng issued a new combat order to Zeraora. Zeraora, use Ultimate Impact. Zhang Cheng had already prepared for this move. The Plasma Lightning Punch that Zeraora used just now was not only to deal high damage, but also to allow Zeraora to attach Plasma Current, so that his next general skills will be transformed into electric skills. Zeraora will also use Ultimate Impact, a high-powered general skill with a basic value of up to 150. With the increase of the electric attribute, Zeraora with high physical attack will burst out with a very terrifying power, which will not be weaker than the opponent's Mega Beedrill. Zhang Cheng intends to end the battle directly with this move, so that the opponent's Mega Beedrill will not even see Diancie appear. Zeraora received the trainer's order, and then quickly absorbed the plasma current, and a large amount of plasma current soon enveloped his whole body. In the training a few days ago, Zhang Cheng specially let Zeraora practice this skill, so that it can achieve unexpected results in actual combat. The plasma current wrapped around the whole body, Zeraora's legs exerted force, and rushed towards the supergiant Beedrill at a very fast speed. Supergiant Beedrill, fight them, use poison attack. Zhao Kuang also felt the power of Zorora's move, and the pressure in his heart was very great. He planned to let the supergiant Beedrill fight to the death. The power of the poison attack skill is the same as that of the cross scissors. At the same time, it can also attach a large amount of toxins to its persistence to increase its attack power. This is also the last trump card of the supergiant Beedrill. The supergiant Beedrill looked determined, and all the accumulated poison energy in its body burst out without reservation, gathering on the spikes in its hands and tail. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 459 End of Assessment. The strong toxin attached to the spikes, turning the originally bright white spikes into purple and black, giving people a very gloomy feeling. After the energy was accumulated, the supergiant Beedrill vibrated its wings and rushed forward quickly, and the sharp stinger collided with a plasma current on Zorora's body. After a brief stalemate between the two powerful forces, Zorora's plasma ultimate impact took the advantage and smashed the stinger in the hand of the supergiant Beedrill, and all the poison energy was dispersed. After breaking through the poison attack skill, Zorora had no obstacles in front of it, and the whole body carried a large amount of plasma current, which hit the body of the supergiant Beedrill fiercely. The fragile body of the supergiant Beedrill suffered such a heavy blow, and its health was quickly emptied, and it fell to the ground and lost its combat ability. At the same time, Zorora also screamed, and the highly toxic toxins in its body burst out, but it was no longer a big deal. With the defeat of the supergiant Beedrill, the outcome of this game has been decided, and there is no suspense. A stream of pure energy flew out of the Super Beedrill and returned to the evolution crystal. The Super Beedrill's body also shrank rapidly and degenerated into a Beedrill. Thank you for your hard work, Beedrill. Zhao Kuang took out the Pokeball and took back the Beedrill. Come back and rest, Zorora. Zhang Cheng took back his Pokemon. You are really strong. I am convinced of your defeat. It is true that there are always people who are better than you. I didn't expect that you are such an excellent king-level trainer at such a young age. After the game, Zhao Kuang said to Zhang Cheng from the bottom of his heart. You don't have to belittle yourself. It is already very good to be a king-level trainer. You are also very strong, Zhang Cheng said with a smile. The two continued to chat for a few more sentences and then left the competition venue. Zhang Cheng walked to where Fang Lin was, and Zhao Kuang went to where Wen Kun was. Fang Lin wanted to fly at this time. Seeing Zhang Cheng coming, he rushed up and grabbed Zhang Cheng's hands and said excitedly, Brother Zhang, I knew you wouldn't let me down. You are the pride of all the trainers in our Magic City. No. I don't dare to accept it. Dean Fang, don't forget the reward we agreed on, Zhang Cheng reminded. Haha, don't worry about this. Fang Lin, I'm not the kind of villain who doesn't keep his word. Fang Lin took out a black card from his pocket while speaking, and continued with a 5 gesture with his palm. Here is your reward, 50 million Pokemon coins. Zhang Cheng put the card in Fang Lin's hand into his pocket with a smile on his face. Happy cooperation, ha ha ha, Brother Zhang, happy cooperation. Both of them were in a very good mood. Zhang Cheng got these 50 million Pokemon coins, and all the expenses in this life have been solved. Fang Lin has kept the position of the Dean of the Magic City Pokemon Center, and can continue to make more money. Wang Kun on the other side looked very ugly. Without saying anything more, he left the battlefield directly. After helping the Magic City Pokemon Center complete the assessment, Zhang Cheng did not stay any longer. After all the Pokemons recovered from their injuries, he left. Next, Zhang Cheng came to the most prosperous area of Magic City and chose a well-decorated house. He already had his own house in Magic City, and this one was bought for his mother. After he found his father and reunited with his family, he brought his mother here to live together. Thinking of this, Zhang Cheng's determination to become stronger became stronger, and he spent all his time every day training Pokemons. Half a year later, Zhang Cheng's strength was getting stronger and stronger. The level of the Pokemons had all reached level 80. Now he can challenge the title of champion trainer. This time Zhang Cheng did not delay for too long and planned to go directly to the challenge tower for this final challenge. The last time he challenged the title of king level trainer, He went there when the Pokémon's level had been raised by several levels. In that case, there was no pressure in the battle. This is not what he wants to see. What he needs is a battle of equal strength, and the strength of the Pokémons will not be too different. If his own Pokémon is far higher than the opponent's Pokémon level, then this battle is meaningless, it is a complete crushing, and it can't improve his command awareness at all. In the morning, after getting up and washing up, Zhang Cheng rode Moltres to the challenge tower in the Magic City. Moltres' body is full of flames. Ordinary humans will be burned to charcoal if they touch it. Only trainers who are very close to Moltres will not be attacked by flames. After arriving at the challenge tower, Zhang Cheng was familiar with the road and found the staff to explain his intention to challenge the title of champion trainer. This scared the staff. You know, it is very difficult to become a champion trainer. He has worked here for so many years and has only encountered this situation twice. Mr. Zhang, please wait here for a while. Because the level of the challenge is too high, we need authority here and need to notify the senior staff for you, the staff said nervously. Zhang Cheng nodded to show his understanding, and then went to the rest area to sit down and rest. The staff did not dare to neglect it and hurried to the tower to find the senior staff to explain the situation. This level of battle was not something he could arrange. Zhang Cheng waited for about half an hour, and an old man came out from the challenge. The old man's name was Sun Hai, and he was a strong champion-level trainer. Sun Hai came to Zhang Cheng under the guidance of the staff. He was surprised to see that the trainer who came to challenge was so young. Are you the trainer who is challenging the champion title this time? Sun Hai asked. Zhang Cheng nodded. Yes, when can I arrange the battle? To challenge the champion-level trainer title, the minimum requirement is to have 6 Pokémon above level 80. If you don't meet the requirements, you can't challenge. Sun Hai emphasized the challenge rules again. He guessed that the young man in front of him might have made a mistake in the challenge rules. My current strength is enough to challenge. Don't worry, I didn't make a mistake. Please arrange to register for the battle, Zhang Cheng said with a smile. Chapter 460, Challenging the Champion Trainer. Sun Hai nodded. Seeing that Zhang Cheng had no problem, he asked the staff to take Zhang Cheng to register. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sun Hai. I am the person in charge of this challenge tower and a champion-level trainer. I will be the examiner for the final assessment. Hello, senior, Zhang Cheng said politely. Zhang Cheng was very polite to senior league officials of this level. It would not hurt to make friends with him. The staff quickly registered Zhang Cheng's ID information, and Zhang Cheng and Sun Hai entered a special battle room together. This battle room is specially used for champion-level trainer battles and is only used a few times a year. Friend Zhang Cheng, this is the test site for champion trainers in our Magic City Challenge Tower. You can become a champion trainer only if you defeat the 6 level 80 Pokémons in my hands, Sun Hai said with a smile. Champion trainers in each region are very rare. After becoming a champion trainer officially registered by the Alliance, you will become a nominal senior staff of the Alliance, and you can receive support from the Alliance. You can also directly ask for help from the Alliance when you encounter difficulties. Sun Hai told Zhang Cheng about the benefits of becoming a champion trainer. The strong will naturally be won over by the Alliance. This is the core strength of each region. Thank you for your explanation, senior. I will do my best to win this game. Zhang Cheng is very confident in himself. Zhang Cheng had already known about these benefits of becoming a champion trainer. There are both advantages and disadvantages to becoming a champion trainer. The advantage is that you can get the support of the Alliance and become a senior staff of the Alliance. The disadvantage is also obvious. You will be greatly restricted. If the Alliance arranges various tasks, you need to complete them. Of course, becoming a champion trainer definitely has more advantages than disadvantages. Champion trainers in each region are rare. Zhang Cheng and Sun Hai came to the battle area and prepared for the battle under the guidance of the referee. The match is a 6v6 Pokémon battle. The match ends when all Pokémons on one side lose their ability to fight. The referee briefly explained the rules and then blew the whistle hanging around his neck. The match begins. As the referee's voice fell, Zhang Cheng and Sun Hai threw their Pokéballs at the same time, and 2 Pokémons appeared on the battlefield. It's you, Thorn Dragon, get ready to fight. Alakazam. Zhang Cheng chose Thorn Dragon as the starting Pokémon this time. Thorn Dragon has a dual attribute combination of Dragon and Water, which can only be restrained by Dragon and Fairy skills. Pokémons with these 2 attributes are relatively rare. Zhang Cheng used Thorn Dragon as the starting Pokémon to ensure that he would not fall into an attribute disadvantage at the beginning. When the strength levels of the Pokémons on both sides are equal, it is very passive if the attributes are restrained. The starting Pokémon chosen by Sunhai is Alakazam, a veteran Pokémon in the Psychic system. Zhang Cheng turned on the detection system and focused his attention on Alakazam. A large amount of data appeared in his mind. Name, Alakazam, level 80, gender, male, qualification, a attribute, psychic, carrying props, bent spoon. After the elf carries this prop, the power of the psychic skills will be improved. Basic skills: telekinesis, teleportation, bending spoon, immobilization, fantasy light, miracle eye, reflection wall, mental blade, self-regeneration, mind movement, exchange venue, mental strong thought, role play, tricks, predict the future, learning skills, destruction light, electromagnetic wave, shadow clone, guard, light wall, meditation, energy ball, trick space, charging beam. Inherited skills: come again, barrier, characteristic exchange, mental field, shoot down. Characteristics: synchronization. The elf with this characteristic will synchronize the burn, paralysis and poisoning status it suffers to the other elf. Note: Alakazam, a telekinetic Pokémon, is the final evolution of Casey. It has a brain as developed as a supercomputer and can send out various superpowers to attack. Sunhai's Alakazam has relatively conventional data in all aspects and is a relatively powerful elf among the same level. The Pokémon used in the assessment are generally more conventional Pokémon, and there will not be those Pokémon with extremely abnormal race values. The assessment is just to test whether the trainer has reached this level of strength, and there is no need to deliberately increase the difficulty. Alakazam, use meditation. Sunhai directly let Alakazam meditate on the spot at the beginning to increase his own attributes. Alakazam sat cross-legged on the ground, absorbing the psychic energy around him into his body. Under the influence of this energy, Alakazam's special attack and special defense were improved. Dragon King, use Rainbow. Since the opponent was not in a hurry to attack, Zhang Cheng was naturally not in a hurry. He used the time when Alakazam was meditating to let Dragon King create rainy weather. Dragon King gathered the water element power accumulated in his body together, forming a large piece of dark clouds that rose into the air, forming rainy weather in the battlefield. The leisurely and free characteristics were triggered, and Dragon King's speed was greatly improved. The power of the water skills used next will also be stronger. Alakazam, use your mental power. After meditation, Sunhai began to attack, letting Alakazam use his special attack psychic skills. Alakazam held the spoon in his hand and controlled his special psychic energy to form a mental power to attack the Dragon King. Dragon King, use the waterfall attack. Zhang Cheng chose to fight head-on. The Dragon King's defense was not weak, so it was acceptable to take Alakazam's attack once. Alakazam's special defense was already good, and after meditation, it had reached a relatively strong level, so Zhang Cheng chose to let the Dragon King use physical attack water skills to attack. Alakazam's physical attack and physical defense were its weakest points, and Zhang Cheng seized this point to formulate tactics. On the way to Alakazam with the waterfall attack, the strong mental power carried the powerful psychic energy to attack, and the health of the Thorn Dragon King was knocked down by 1/3, and the head felt dizzy. The Thorn Dragon King did not give up because of the attack. He endured the pain and came to Alakazam, and hid Alakazam's abdomen with his strong body. This waterfall attack has the additional blessing of rainy weather, and the power is very strong. Alakazam's physical defense is very weak. After being hit by the waterfall attack, he flew backwards and fell to the ground, and his health was directly reduced by half. Another advantage of Zhang Cheng sending the Thorn Dragon King is reflected, that is, comprehensiveness. The Thorn Dragon King is a Pokémon with very average attributes in all aspects. Whether it is using special attack skills or physical attack skills, it can play a good effect. Like now when facing Alakazam, you can choose to use physical attack skills to attack. If you are facing a Pokémon with weak special defense, you can choose special attack skills to attack, and there are more options. Chapter 461 Defeat Alakazam. Your Thorn Dragon King is very well trained and excellent in all aspects, but my Alakazam is not that easy to deal with. Sunhai gave a high evaluation to Zhang Cheng's Thorn Dragon King, and then quickly commanded Alakazam to continue the offensive. Alakazam, use the Destruction Beam. Sunhai commanded Alakazam to use the most powerful Destruction Beam. This skill would have a very terrifying lethality when released in the hands of Alakazam with high special attack. Alakazam held a spoon in his hand and gathered all the energy around him to form a ball of deep yellow light, which was bombarded at the Thorn Dragon King. Hurry up and use the defense. Zhang Cheng didn't plan to let the Thorn Dragon King fight hard this time. The Thorn Dragon King had already lost some of its health in the previous confrontation. The power of Alakazam's destruction beam was very strong. It would be difficult to deal with it if it was killed directly by the hard fight. The key to fighting is stability. Don't fight unless you have to. Stability is the best way to play. Haha. Alakazam, teleport. Sun Hai's eyes flickered, and he quickly issued an order when he saw the attacking Thorn Dragon King. Zhang Cheng had a bad feeling that this move might not be as simple as he imagined. Just when the Thorn Dragon King's attack was about to hit Alakazam, at the critical moment, Alakazam released his stiff state, and a burst of strong psychic energy burst out from his body, and he disappeared directly on the spot. The Thorn Dragon King's attack missed, and a large amount of water attribute energy hit the ground where Alakazam had just stood. Alakazam, use the illusion beam. Sun Hai continued to issue orders, commanding Alakazam, who had just dodged the attack, to quickly launch an attack and take the initiative in his own hands. Alakazam came behind Thorn Dragon King through teleportation, and after receiving Sun Hai's order, he quickly waved the spoon in his hand. A beam of light that looked very illusory was emitted, accurately hitting the back of Thorn Dragon King. Thorn Dragon King was attacked, and his health value dropped rapidly, and was beaten to only 1/5 of it. Dragon King, use the reverse scale attack as quickly as possible. Zhang Cheng saw that the Dragon King was in danger, and he directly brought out his strongest trump card, the reverse scale attack. The reverse scale skill is also a physical attack skill. Although it is not used now, the power of the reverse scale itself is very strong, which is enough to deal with Alakazam, who has weak physical defense. Ha! The Dragon King let out a dragon roar, opened his dragon mouth and blasted the violent dragon energy in his body towards Alakazam. At this time, Alakazam was very close to the Dragon King, and it was too late to respond. In rainy weather, the speed of the Dragon King was very fast. The reverse scale skill accurately hit Alakazam, and the powerful dragon power directly emptied Alakazam's health. Alakazam let out a painful roar and fell to the ground, losing the ability to fight. Come back, Alakazam, you have done very well. Sun Hai took back the Alakazam who had lost his ability to fight, looked at Zhang Cheng and said, not bad, not bad, this Dragon King is very strong, and has completely reached the level of a champion-level Pokémon. Thank you for the compliment, senior. Zhang Cheng smiled. Haha, you don't have to be modest. I won't be polite in battles. I treat everyone equally. Sun Hai put on a new Pokéball and said, to deal with this Dragon-type Thorn King, I will send out a Fairy-type Pokémon to deal with it. The best choice to deal with Thorn King is undoubtedly a Fairy-type Pokémon. Thorn King fears not only Fairy-type Pokémon but also Dragon-type Pokémon. However, Dragon-type Pokémons restrain each other. Although sending out Dragon-type Pokémon can restrain the opponent's Thorn King, it will also be restrained by Thorn King. It's decided to be you, Sylveon. The Fairy-type Pokémon that Sun Hai chose to deal with Thorn King was Sylveon. As one of the evolution forms of Eevee, Sylveon is also a relatively powerful existence among the Fairy-type Pokémon. Zhang Cheng habitually turned on the detection function to get a basic understanding of Sylveon. Name, Sylveon, level 80, gender, female qualification, A attribute, fairy carried item, wide-angle mirror, a lens that can magnify the objects viewed. The hit rate of the skills used by the elf will be improved to a certain extent after carrying this item. Basic skills, self-suggestion, collection, fairy wind, impact, wagging tail, help, round pupils, throwing sand, charming voice, flash of lightning, high-speed stars, absorbing kiss, characteristic exchange, misty field, light wall, moon power learning skills, magic flash, hold, destructive light, shadow clone, mysterious guardian, shadow ball, mental shock, meditation inherited skills, curse, auxiliary power, coquettish, yawn, nature's grace characteristics, fairy skin. The elves with this characteristic will use normal skills that become fairy attributes. Note, Sylveon, fairy elf, link Pokemon, is one of the evolved forms of Eevee. It uses its ribbon-like tentacles to wrap around the arms of its favorite trainers and walk together. After checking the various data of Sylveon, Zhang Cheng also had enough understanding of this Pokemon. Because the fairy system does not have props that can increase the power of skills, Sylveon chose to carry a wide-angle lens that can increase the hit rate of skills. It can ensure that its own skills can hit, and the accuracy of skills is higher, which is also another way to increase damage in disguise. In fact, Alakazam and Sylveon have very similar racial value structures. Both are Pokémon with very high special attack and special defense, but relatively weak physical attack and physical defense. In view of this feature of Sylveon, Zhang Cheng will definitely continue to choose to use physical attack skills to attack. But now the Thorn Dragon King's reverse scale skill still has 2 attacks, and dragon attribute skills have no effect on fairy clothes. Sunhai's choice is very clever, which is equivalent to directly attacking the Thorn Dragon King 2 or 3 times, and the Thorn Dragon King has no way to deal with it. Chapter 462 Swampert vs Sylveon. Zhang Cheng knew that King Thorn had no more room for maneuver and would be defeated by Sylveon in a short time. Because King Thorn had little HP, he would have to waste 2 attacks of his reverse scale skill, and would also fall into a state of confusion. After Sylveon appeared, King Thorn immediately spit out the second reverse scale energy to attack Sylveon. However, because of Sylveon's fairy attribute, Sylveon was immune to all dragon skills, and the powerful reverse scale attack did not have any effect. Sylveon, use Magic Flash. Sunhai began to command Sylveon to attack, and the skill he chose to use was naturally to restrain King Thorn's fairy skills, which was also the attribute skill that Sylveon was best at. Sylveon followed the trainer's instructions and turned a large amount of fairy energy into a pink ball of light. After the ball of light was formed, it emitted powerful magic energy. This energy hit King Thorn's body, creating a very good effect. King Thorn had already lost half of his HP and was now in a state of residual HP. Then King Thorn's third reverse scale attack was launched, and the situation was naturally self-evident, and it still had no effect. Use the power of the moon to defeat the Thorn Dragon. Sunhai looked at the already dying Thorn Dragon, and gave the last attack order to Sylveon, who took the Thorn Dragon away with 1 blow. Sylveon looked solemn, nodded to the trainer, and quickly organized the fairy energy to attack. Because this was the last attack of Thorn Dragon, Sylveon was very cautious in using skills. Although it had the blessing of the wide-angle lens, it could not guarantee a 100% hit. Sylveon wanted to be foolproof, so it gathered all the fairy blood energy in front of it, and turned it into a moon power to accurately hit the body of Thorn Dragon. The Thorn Dragon with residual blood was hit by this attack, and its health value was quickly emptied, and it lost its combat ability. Sunhai is worthy of being an experienced champion-level trainer. He defeated Thorn Dragon effortlessly with just this tactic. Now both sides have lost a Pokémon, and Sylveon is still in very good condition. The advantage that was created with great difficulty is now almost gone. Zhang Cheng didn't have any Pokémon that could deal with Sylveon, so he could only rely on Sylveon's weak physical defense. Frog's physical attack skills are very powerful, but fighting skills don't work well against Sylveon's clothes, which is very tricky. After comprehensive consideration, Zhang Cheng chose to send Swampert. Swampert's ground-based skills also have many physical attack skills, which are also good for dealing with Sylveon. Swampert, prepare for battle. A Pokeball was thrown from Zhang Cheng's hand and landed on the battlefield, and Swampert went into battle. Sylveon, use Mystic Guard. Sunhai took advantage of Zhang Cheng's replacement of Pokemon to let Sylveon use the Mystic Guard skill. A mysterious energy surrounded Sylveon's body. With the protection of this energy, Sylveon will not fall into an abnormal state for a period of time. Zhang Cheng watched Sylveon use the Mystic Guard skill, and couldn't help but admire Sunhai's combat experience. Sunhai's move was obviously because he was worried that Swampert would have some powerful transformation skills, so he took precautions in advance. In fact, his prediction was also very correct. Swampert is very good at using poison, and Sylveon is very afraid of poison skills. This mysterious protection has invisibly solved a lot of trouble for Sylveon. Swampert, use Earthquake attack. Since the poison tactic can no longer be implemented, Zhang Chengji simply used the most brutal way to let Swampert use high-powered ground skills to attack. Gana. Swampert slapped his limbs fiercely, slapping the ground energy in his body into the ground under his feet. The ground of the battlefield was immediately torn apart, and a powerful force rushed towards Sylveon. Sylveon, use the hold skill. Sunhai knew Sylveon's weakness very well. Facing the high-powered physical attack skill Earthquake, he decisively chose to defend. Sylveon created a barrier according to the trainer's order, and a transparent and solid barrier was generated before it died. The shock wave caused by the earthquake hit the barrier, but it did not cause much effect. In the end, it just broke the barrier and did not cause any substantial damage to Sylveon. I don't believe you can defend all the time. Let's see who has stronger attack power and who can take it. Zhang Cheng saw that Sylveon resolved Swampert's attack this time, and he didn't look anxious at all. He knew that Sylveon couldn't defend all the time. Haha, young people are really sharp. Since you want to fight head-on, I will meet your request, Sun Hai said with a smile. Sylveon, let's attack head-on and use Magic Flash. After receiving the order from the trainer, Sylveon no longer defended, and concentrated on absorbing fairy energy to brew a powerful offensive. Just what I want. Swampert used the power of the earth. Zhang Cheng saw that the opponent also had the idea of a head-on collision, and he felt very happy in his heart. It was fun to fight like this. Ghana. Swampert also likes this kind of head-on battle. Although she often uses poison tactics, it is only for the victory of the battle. Compared with using poison tactics to defeat the opponent, Swampert still prefers to fight head-on to decide the winner. Under the control of Swampert, the rich ground energy entered the ground of the training ground, transformed into a powerful force of the earth, and quickly came to the feet of Sylveon. At the same time, the skill that Sylveon had brewed was also successfully released, and the dazzling magic light quickly shot towards Swampert. The power of the earth emitted by Swampert rushed out from the soles of Sylveon's feet and directly knocked Sylveon out. The Pokémons of both sides were attacked by each other at the same time. Swampert lost a quarter of his life, while Sylveon was more seriously injured and lost a third of his life. Judging from this first confrontation, Swampert still has the advantage and caused more damage. Chapter 463, The Ultimate Use of Attributes. Swampert used the waterfall attack. The rainy weather created by the Thorn Dragon was about to end. Zhang Cheng planned to use this last moment to let Swampert use a powerful water skill to attack. Ghana. After receiving the order from the trainer, Swampert roared, and with the help of the rainy weather, he created a large amount of water elemental power in a very short time. The rich water elemental power surrounded Swampert's whole body. Swampert exerted force on all four limbs and rushed towards Sylveon in front. Sylveon, destroy the beam. Sun Hai felt the power of Swampert's attack, and it also made Sylveon use the most powerful skill to collide. Sylveon quickly accumulated energy and created a deep yellow light in front of it. The destroying beam formed and rushed towards Swampert. The destroying beam emitted by Sylveon collided with Swampert's body filled with water elements. The waterfall attack launched by Swampert has a power bonus from the main system, while the destruction beam used by Sylveon is very powerful and has the blessing of fairy skin. In the end, the two skills collided and canceled each other out, and both sides suffered slight damage. You should know that the power of the destruction beam is twice that of the waterfall attack, but with the attribute bonus and weather bonus, the gap in this basic attribute was pulled back. After this attack, the rainy weather also disappeared, and the duration of the rain-seeking skill launched by the Thorn Dragon King has expired. Swampert, use heavy stomping. Zhang Cheng continued to command Swampert to use powerful ground-based physical attack skills. Now Sylveon fell into a state of stiffness and could not move. It was a good opportunity to attack. Ghana. Swampert detached the ground-based energy to his limbs, and his strong body came in front of Sylveon, and his limbs stepped heavily on Sylveon's body. Sylveon suffered a fierce attack, and its health value quickly dropped to only 1/3. In the collision between the destruction beam and the waterfall climbing attack just now, although neither side had an advantage, it was obvious that Sylveon was at a greater disadvantage, because there were strong side effects after using the destruction beam, but there were no such side effects after using the waterfall climbing attack. Now the health of Sylveon and Swampert had widened the gap, and Sylveon would be very passive in the next battle. Smaller, used the power of the earth. With the advantage of health, Zhang Cheng planned to take the initiative in his own hands and attack Sylveon. Now Swampert could withstand one attack from Sylveon and guarantee that it would not be defeated, but Sylveon's health was not much, so he dared not rush into head-on confrontation. Ghana. Swampert chopped the ground with its limbs, and transformed the ground energy in its body into the power of the earth to attack Sylveon. We use hold, Sylveon. Sun Hai could only be forced to defend, and the current situation was not optimistic for him. Sylveon skillfully created a barrier to resist the powerful attack from Swampert. Boom. The power of the earth broke out of the ground and hit the barrier created by Sylveon. The violent sound was very piercing, and the rich ground energy continued to bombard the barrier. The barrier began to become shaky. Just when the barrier was about to break, the energy of the power of the earth was also exhausted. Sylveon resisted this attack very thrillingly. Keep attacking, don't give Sylveon any chance. After seeing Sylveon use the defending skill, Zhang Cheng became more determined to attack. Swampert, use another waterfall attack. Gonna. Swampert rushed forward at a fast speed and came to Sylveon at the fastest speed, releasing the water energy in its body without reservation. The speed is so fast. Sunhai looked at the Swampert who came in front of Sylveon and quickly issued an order. Sylveon, use poison. Sunhai made a choice that could stop the loss in time. Facing the waterfall attack of Swampert's full strength, Sylveon was in a hurry and did not have much time to absorb energy and launch a powerful attack skill. In this case, the best way to do it is to use the poison skill to put Swampert into a poisonous state and maximize its final value. Sylveon did not hesitate at all, and directly followed a trainer's instructions to accumulate toxic energy and throw a ball of venom. The venom fell on Swampert's body, and at the same time, Swampert's strong body also violently hit Sylveon's lower abdomen. Swampert fell into a poisonous state, and the whole skin turned purple and blue. Sylveon was knocked back and fell outside the battlefield. The remaining life vegetation was all emptied and lost its combat ability. You have done well, come back, Sylveon. Sunhai took back Sylveon. Although the current situation was a little bad for him, he could still fight. Swampert's health was not on the best condition, and it was also described as poisonous. Zhang Cheng's advantage was not big. In this kind of contest between strong people, the situation is ever-changing, and a small advantage may be equalized in the next moment. Zhang Cheng was not complacent because of this advantage. Instead, he was under more pressure because the battle was about to enter a white-hot stage. Your Pokémons are all well-trained, but I won't be polite to you. Since I'm dealing with your Swampert, I will naturally send out the grass Pokémon that is most restrained against it. Sunhai treated everyone equally during the assessment and did not show mercy because the opponent was a junior. It's decided to be you, Tropical Dragon. Sunhai threw the Pokéball, and a flying dragon with green wings appeared in the air of the battlefield. Tropical Dragon is a Pokémon with a combination of grass and flying. This attribute combination can be said to restrain Swampert to the extreme. First of all, grass-type skills have a fourfold restraint effect on Swampert, which is in terms of active restrained, and the next is the resistance effect on Swampert skills. Swampert is good at water-type skills and ground-type skills, and Tropical Dragon has flying, so all ground-type skills are ineffective against it. In this case, if Swampert wants to cause damage to Tropical Dragon, it can only use water-type skills. However, water attribute skills are not very effective against Tropical Dragon, which has the grass attribute. Tropical Dragon is twice as resistant to grass-type attacks. This also resulted in Swampert being unable to block Tropical Dragon's attacks, and unable to cause effective damage to Tropical Dragon. As a senior champion-level trainer, Sunhai has made the best use of attributes. Using attributes to the extreme can make up for many losses in battle and thus save the situation. Chapter 464 Tropical Dragon. Following his usual battle habits, Zhang Cheng quickly turned on the detection system after the Tropical Dragon appeared and began to understand the specific situation of this Pokémon. Name, Tropical Dragon, level 80, gender, female qualification, attribute, grass, flying carrot items, miracle seed, a seed that can create miracles. The power of grass attribute skills used by the Pokémon will be enhanced after carrying this item. Basic skills, wind, glare, growth, leaf blade, leaf storm, sweet fragrance, stomp, magic leaf, blow fly, grass blender, nature's grace, air slash, pressure, gift delivery, photosynthesis, solar beam learning skills, sword dance, flying, destructive ray, hold, steel wings, swallow return, feather roost, energy ball, ultimate impact inherited skills, tornado blade, headbutt, parasitic seed, seed machine gun, dragon hammer characteristics, power of the sun. For Pokémon with this characteristic, the special attack will increase in clear weather, but the health will continue to decrease. Notes, Tropical Dragon, a fruit Pokémon, will flap the wings on its back to fly in the air. When there is sunlight, its agility will increase. The item carried by Sunhai's Tropical Dragon is Miracle Seed, which uses grass attribute as the main means of output. which is very disadvantageous to Swampert. Tropical Dragon has good double defense and health value. It is a meaty Pokémon. Its physical attack and special attack are not high, but it is enough to deal with Swampert. Having high defense means that it can delay more time. Swampert is in a poisonous state and cannot be delayed for too long. In addition, the grass-type skills that Tropical Dragon is good at have 4 times restraint on Swampert. Even if the attack power is not strong, it can still deal good damage. Sunhai is indeed a very powerful trainer. You must know that the Pokémon used in the assessment are all raised by the Alliance and are relatively mediocre Pokémon. It is undoubtedly very strong to be able to use these Pokémon to fight against a high-quality Pokémon cultivated by Zhang Cheng to this extent. Sunhai used the characteristics and attributes of the Pokémon to the extreme, which put a lot of pressure on Zhang Cheng. Tropical Dragon used the Leaf Blade to attack. Sunhai relied on his Tropical Dragon to be immune to Swampert's skills, so he attacked recklessly and directly let Tropical Dragon launch an offensive. The Tropical Dragon flapped its 2 green wings, absorbing the rich grass attribute energy and turning into 2 leaf blades. The leaf blades became very sharp because of the grass attribute energy attached to them, and quickly flew towards Swampert under the control of the Tropical Dragon. Swampert used the water cannon. Zhang Cheng did not waste time with the other party. Swampert, who had been poisoned, could not delay time, so facing the Tropical Dragon's 4-fold restraint of the grass attribute skills, he chose to let Swampert take the initiative to attack. Instead of defending and waiting to die, it is better to fight and take advantage of the opportunity now to cause more damage to the Tropical Dragon. Ghana. Swampert nodded, stood in place and turned into a turret, and his limbs became channels for energy transmission. The rich water element energy continued to flow into the body through Swampert's limbs. Swampert opened his mouth and a water cannon bullet appeared. Under Swampert's strong spitting, the water cannon attacked the Tropical Dragon with great power. The leaf blade and the water cannon staggered and did not collide with each other, but each hit the body of the other Pokémon. Tropical Dragon was hit by Cannon's powerful water cannon, because it has twice the resistance to water skills, and Tropical Dragon's own health is not low. In the end, Swampert's powerful water cannon only knocked off a quarter of Tropical Dragon's health. The other half of the leaf blade that flew out quickly hit Swampert's body, and the 4-fold restraint effect amplified the leaf blade, which was originally ordinary in power, to be very powerful. Swampert's health value dropped rapidly, from the original 2/3 to less than a quarter. The highly toxic toxin also began to erupt at the same time, reducing Swampert's health value to only the last bit of blood. Swampert also fell into a state of stiffness due to the launch of the water cannon, and now he can't move. Good opportunity. Tropical Dragon uses the energy ball to kill Swampert. Sunhai naturally couldn't let go of this good opportunity. Seeing that Swampert was in a state of stiffness, he quickly commanded Tropical Dragon to use his best grass-type skills to attack. Tropical Dragon vibrated its wings, and as the wings flapped, streams of grass attribute energy gathered together to form an emerald green ball of light. The lethality contained in this ball of light was even better than the flying leaf knife just now. Facing the remaining health of Swampert, this move was used in order to kill Swampert 100% instantly and not give Zhang Cheng any chance to operate. The energy ball formed by the power of grass attribute was quickly smashed out under the control of Tropical Dragon, hitting Swampert, who was unable to move on the spot. Swampert was hit by this powerful blow, and it had no way to resist it with its remaining health. It resisted this attack in time, as well as the outbreak of highly toxic toxins. In this situation, Swampert had no chance of survival. The health value was quickly emptied, and Swampert lost its ability to fight. Come back and rest, Swampert. Zhang Cheng took back the powerless Swampert. Zhang Cheng looked at the Tropical Dragon in the battlefield and took out a Pokeball from behind. Since you like attribute restraint so much, I will also use attributes to target you. Zhang Cheng planned to fight back with his own methods, and also use attributes to target the opponent's Pokémon, so that he would still have an advantage. It's decided to be you, Moltres. Zhang Cheng threw the Pokeball in his hand, and a red light shot out of the sky above the battlefield, and a divine bird bathed in fire appeared. Moltres has fire attributes plus flying attributes, and these 2 attributes just perfectly restrain Tropical Dragon. The existence of Tropical Dragon's grass attribute makes it afraid of flying skills and fire skills, and Moltres happens to be good at these 2 skills. I didn't expect you to be able to get the Divine Beast. Young people nowadays are really not simple. Sun Hai was also a little surprised when he saw that Zhang Cheng actually took out the Divine Beast Moltres directly. Divine Beasts are very difficult to subdue. Even if you can defeat the Divine Beast, finding the Divine Beast is also the biggest problem. It was just a chance for me to catch a Moltres. Then let me see the power of the legendary beast and see how powerful it can be in your hands. As a veteran champion level trainer, Sun Hai has seen many legendary beasts, but this is the first time he has seen a legendary beast in the hands of such a young trainer. Tropical Dragon, use Air Slash, facing Moltres. Grass attribute skills are very ineffective, and Moltres is 4 times more resistant to grass attributes. So Sun Hai chose to let Tropical Dragon use flying skills to attack, and flying skills are quite effective against Moltres. Chapter 465, The Pressure of the Divine Beast. After receiving the trainer's order, Tropical Dragon quickly controlled the flying energy to form 2 very large air blades. Under the control of Tropical Dragon's wings, the sharp air blade slashed at Moltres not far away. Molten, let it see what a real air slash is. Seeing that the opponent dared to use flying skills to fight Moltres, Zhang Cheng naturally wanted to teach this Tropical Dragon a lesson. Moltres also felt that it had been provoked to a certain extent. It was best at flying skills, and now the opponent actually took the initiative to fight her with flying skills. After the trainer's order was issued, Moltres vibrated its wings and gathered all the energy of the surrounding aircraft together to form 4 air blades. These 4 air blades are several times larger than the air blades formed by Tropical Dragon, and their power is completely on a different level. You know, Moltres' special attack ratio value is as high as 125, more than twice that of Tropical Dragon. The same skills formed by the 2 Pokémons are naturally incomparable in terms of power. The skills of both sides collided, and the air blades created by the Tropical Dragon were instantly destroyed. 4 powerful air blades rushed forward quickly, unstoppable, and directly hit the body of the Tropical Dragon. The Tropical Dragon was instantly severely injured, and its health was reduced to less than half. Its entire body fell to the ground like a kite with a broken string. Flying skills can cause double damage to the Tropical Dragon. Moltres' air slash easily hit the opponent hard. Well done, Moltres, use another jet of flame. Looking at the Tropical Dragon that fell to the ground and was severely injured, Zhang Cheng planned to take advantage of the victory and let Moltres use a jet of flame directly on the spot to eliminate the opponent. Moltres raised his head and let out a long cry. The flames burning on its body became more vigorous. The bird opened its mouth and a long and thin flame came out, burning towards the Tropical Dragon. Tropical Dragon, quickly use defense. Sun Hai felt the power of Moltres' jet of flame and quickly let the Tropical Dragon defend. He also felt the power of this Moltres. The skills used by Moltres, with high special powers, were not something the Tropical Dragon could fight head-on. Tropical Dragon stood up quickly with strong willpower and created a transparent barrier to block it. The scorching flames attacked and continued to burn on the barrier. Tropical Dragon clearly felt that the barrier was about to be melted, and hurriedly accumulated energy to enhance the barrier's defense. But the flames burned faster, and the powerful flames directly penetrated the barrier and fell on Tropical Dragon's body. The terrifying flames instantly turned Tropical Dragon into a fire dragon. The severe pain caused by the flames made Tropical Dragon roar in pain. Tropical Dragon rolled over and over on the ground in pain, and his health quickly depleted until he completely lost his ability to fight and lay on the ground unable to move. Thank you for your hard work, Tropical Dragon. Come back and rest soon. Sun Hai felt a little distressed when he saw the seriously injured Tropical Dragon. He quickly took out the Pokeball and took Tropical Dragon back to let him suffer less pain. The power of the Divine Beast is indeed strong. You have trained this Moltres very well. I am looking forward to its performance when facing the Pokémon with reverse attributes. Sun Hai was very much looking forward to this Moltres. While speaking, he had already thrown out his 4th Pokeball. Fossil Pterosaur, it's your turn. The 4th Pokémon sent by Sun Hai turned out to be a rare Fossil Pterosaur. This Pokémon was also the first time Zhang Cheng had seen this Pokémon. Fossil Pterosaur has the attributes of rock and flying, and the rock attribute can restrain Moltres 4 times. I'll date you, because it is a combination of flying and fire, and both attributes are restrained by the rock system. Sun Hai continued his attribute restraint tactics. He wanted to see where Moltres' limit was. In his heart, he still believed that Moltres could not defeat Fossil Pterosaur. After all, the 4-fold attribute restraint was too despairing. However, Zhang Cheng did not think so. Thinking back to the national competition, Diancie was able to turn the tide when facing the steel Pokémon Shield Blade with fourfold restraint. Zhang Cheng had full confidence in Moltres. He believed that even if Moltres faced Fossil Pterosaur, it would not be said that it had no power to resist. The first thing before a battle is naturally to understand the specific situation of the opponent's elf. Zhang Cheng habitually turned on the detection system, and the various attributes of the Fossil Pterosaur quickly appeared in his mind. Name: Fossil Pterosaur, level 80, gender, male, qualification, A+, attributes, rock, flying, carrying items, hard stone, a stone that will never crack. When a Pokémon carries this item, the power of its rock-related skills will be increased. Basic skills: Wing Attack, Ultrasonic Wave, Bite, Ghost Face, Lightning Fang, Ice Fang, Flame Fang, Iron Head, Roar, Primal Power, High Speed Movement, Crushing, Slamming, Free Fall, Destruction Ray, Rock Slide, Ultimate Impact. Learning skills: Flying, Flame Jet, Earthquake, Shadow Clone, Rock Blockade, Hold, Dragon Claw, Sharp Stone Attack. Inherited skills: Blow Away, See-Through, Dragon Breath, White Area Defense, Feather Roost. Chase characteristics: Hard Head. Even if a Pokémon with this characteristic uses a move with a reaction force, its own health will not be reduced. Notes: Fossil Pterosaur is confirmed to be a carnivorous Pokémon because of its sharp fangs. It is imagined that it uses sharp claws to capture prey. After checking the detailed information of this Fossil Pterosaur through the system, Zhang Cheng felt a lot of pressure. This Fossil Pterosaur is a rare A+ qualification, which is the highest qualification that can be achieved except for the mythical beast. The Fossil Pterosaur with high qualifications has mastered up to 6 genetic skills, and its combat power is very strong. The trainer also taught it enough learning skills. Facing this powerful rock-type Pokémon, Moltres' next battle will be very difficult. Fossil Pterosaur used the Sharp Stone attack. Sunhai directly commanded the Fossil Pterosaur to attack. With a blessing of Hardstone, the rock-type skills used by the Fossil Pterosaur are more powerful. If this attack can hit Moltres, it will definitely be able to severely injure it. The Fossil Pterosaur flapped its wings and flew high into the sky, absorbing the rock-type energy and forming sharp stones in front of it. The sharp stones condensed into shape, and the Fossil Pterosaur flapped its wings with the greatest force to send these sharp stones out. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 466, Fossilized Pterosaur. Molten used the Hold skill to resist. The Sharp Stone attack is a very powerful skill in the rock system. Zhang Cheng naturally did not dare to let the attack of the Fossil Pterosaur hit Moltres directly. So he decisively chose to defend, first to block this attack, and then make other plans. After Moltres received the order, naturally there was no objection. It obeyed the trainer's orders. As a mythical beast, it has its own pride, but it will also give enough respect to its trainer and will do what the trainer asks in battle. Rich general energy filled Moltres' body. Under Moltres' precise control, these energies formed a transparent barrier, and auras flowed on the barrier, which looked very powerful. A large number of sharp stones attacked, accompanied by rich rock energy, and hit the transparent barrier fiercely. But the solid barrier did not cause any damage. Moltres was very proficient in the Hold skill. With S-level qualifications, it learned skills very quickly. Zhang Cheng focused on letting it learn the skill of holding. For the use of this skill, Moltres has now mastered it. In the end, the barrier stood firmly in front of Moltres, and the Sharp Stone attack launched by the Fossil Pterosaur did not achieve any effect. Moltres seized the opportunity to rush up and use Free Fall. Zhang Cheng was quick-eyed and quick-handed. After resisting the opponent's attack, he quickly let Moltres take the initiative and use the Free Fall skill. Free Fall is a flying skill. After launching this skill, you can grab the opponent's Pokémon at a very fast speed, making it unable to move, throwing it into the air, and then throwing it down. Although flying skills are not very effective against Fossil Pterosaur, the advantage of using this skill is that the opponent cannot fight back in a short period of time, so it can more or less cause some damage to the opponent and gain a little advantage. Moltres has already developed a very high degree of tacit understanding with its trainer in long-term combat. When it received the order, it had already surrounded itself with flying energy. The wings frantically vibrated, and it quickly came to the front of the fossil pterosaur, and its sharp claws firmly fixed it. Fossil pterosaur, quickly break free from the shackles of the flame bird. Sun Hai saw that the fossil pterosaur was trapped, and quickly issued an order to let the fossil pterosaur get out of trouble first. But it was too late at this time. The free fall skill of the flame bird had been activated, and the fossil pterosaur was now firmly caught and unable to move. The fossil pterosaur was taken to a high altitude and then landed rapidly. The powerful force of the flame bird made it impossible for him to flap his wings and maintain balance in the air, and he fell directly to the ground. The hard body of the fossil pterosaur fell on the ground, smashing a pit on the battlefield, and reducing its health by 1/5. Don't be distracted, the fossil pterosaur uses rock collapse. Sun Hai systematically commanded the fossil pterosaur to continue attacking, and at the same time comforted the fossil pterosaur for its defeat during the battle. After the trainer encouraged the pterosaur, it recovered quickly and adjusted its state quickly. It condensed rock energy and formed a large number of rock fragments above Molter's head. A large number of rock energy blocks formed, and the pterosaur roared. These rock energies lost their support and quickly fell down. Molter's was right below them. Molten, let's fight and use the original force. This time, facing the skill of the pterosaur that was 4 times restrained, Zhang Cheng did not choose to defend again, but took the initiative to launch an offensive. The original force is a rock skill, and it is also the only skill that Molter's has mastered that can restrain the pterosaur. Because the pterosaur has the attribute of flying, although it is very good at rock skills, it is also very afraid of rock skills. A very ancient and primitive force drilled out from the ground, and under the guidance of Molter's, the mythical beast, it quickly hit the body of the pterosaur. When the original force hit the fossil pterosaur, Molter's was also hit by the rockfall skill. A large amount of rubble fell on his weak body and quickly knocked him to the ground. Molter's originally healthy health was directly knocked down by half. The 4-fold restraint effect is well deserved. If it is hit by the powerful rock skill of the fossil pterosaur again, Molter's will be in great danger. The original force used by Molter's only knocked down nearly 1/3 of the health of the fossil pterosaur because it did not have the power bonus of its own attribute. Now that the fossil pterosaur has been attacked twice, its health has also dropped a lot, but compared to Molter's, its health is healthier. After the original force hit, a new original force suddenly appeared on Molter's body. This force is very gentle and not aggressive. After entering Molter's body, it fully amplified all of Molter's attributes. This is an additional effect of the original force skill. If this skill hits the opponent's Pokémon, there is a probability that the user's Pokémon will be amplified in all directions. After getting these enhancements, Molter's physical attack, physical defense, special attack, special defense and speed have all been enhanced. I didn't expect that this battle would be so difficult under the 4 restraints. Sun Hai looked at the tense situation in the field and couldn't help but sigh. However, Zhang Cheng didn't have time to respond at this time. Now facing the 4-fold restraint of the fossil pterosaur, his pressure was still very high. Molten, use burn. At this critical moment, Zhang Cheng suddenly thought of a very good tactic. He immediately executed it and let Molter's use the burn skill. This is a very powerful skill in the fire attribute value, with a basic damage of up to 130. Of course, the price to pay for using this skill is also very huge. That is, after using this skill, the elf will directly lose its own fire attribute. This is obviously a great price in normal times. After losing the fire attribute, the power of the elf's fire system and skills will be greatly reduced. But in the current situation, this is a better choice. Losing the fire attribute is more beneficial to Molter's. Because the original rock skills of the fossil pterosaur were 4 times restrained against Molter's, but after Molter's lost its fire attribute, it only had a single flying attribute. Rock skills can only cause 2 times restraint to Molter's, plus Molter's just got the all-round increase of the original power. With 2 times restrained, it still has a good chance of winning. Chapter 467, Abandoning Attributes Tactics. Molter's quickly understood Zhang Cheng's meaning, and unreservedly released all the fire energy in its body. The rich flames directly surrounded Molter's body. Now all that could be seen was a huge burning fire, and Molter's body was completely obscured. The burnout skill was activated, and Molter's directly released all the extreme fire elemental power in its body, forming a very powerful original flame, and quickly attacked the fossil pterosaur. Although the fossil pterosaur had twice the effect of resisting fire attributes, it did not dare to take this attack head-on. Molter's high special attack and the basic attribute of the burnout skill of up to 130, as well as the additional blessing of charcoal props and primitive power. If the fossil pterosaur wanted to go head-on and directly withstand this attack, it would definitely pay a very painful price. And it was not realistic for the fossil pterosaur to use attack as defense and use powerful skills to collide with a burnout skill. Because the power of Molter's attack was too terrifying, it was very close to the power brought by Super Diancie using the Light of Destruction. The fossil pterosaur doesn't have any skills that can burst out such a powerful force, so it can only choose passive defense, hoping to suffer less damage. After all, this skill of Molter's can only be released once. As long as it resists this time, the fossil pterosaur will be able to deal with Molter's easily next time it uses rock-based skills. Thinking of this, Sunhai did not hesitate and quickly commanded the fossil pterosaur to defend. Fossil pterosaur, use wide area defense. Like Zhang Cheng's giant swampert, the fossil pterosaur can use a rock-based defensive skill such as wide area defense. After receiving the order, the fossil pterosaur quickly used the rock-based energy in its body to form a dark yellow barrier in front of it. Rock-based energy has a certain resistance to fire attributes, so using wide area defense is more effective than using defensive skills. This is also the combat experience that Sunhai has summed up over the years. In this case, he chose the best decision to use wide area defense skills. The origin fire emitted by Molter's fell on the wide area barrier. As the flames continued to burn, they burned black holes on the barrier. Finally, at the cost of consuming a large amount of the origin fire, the burnout skill penetrated the wide area barrier and hit the remaining origin fire on the body of the fossil pterosaur. The fossil pterosaur's health value is reduced to half due to the damage, and now it has reached the same level as Molter's. At the same time, Molter's also lost its fire attribute at this time and now became a single flying Pokémon. I didn't expect you to have such a tactic, young man. This is the first time I've seen such a countermeasure from you in all these years of fighting. After seeing Molter's fire attribute disappear and the flames on its body dissipated, Sunhai quickly understood Zhang Cheng's intention. For this operation, Sunhai was full of praise. This unexpected move also surprised him. Thank you, senior. I just thought of this at the last minute. I wanted Molter's to use its strongest attack to fight, but I just happened to think of the skill of burnout. Interesting, this battle is getting more and more interesting. It's not as simple as I thought to become a top-level trainer at such a young age and challenge the title of champion trainer. Zhang Cheng has attracted Sunhai's attention. At first, he thought that this young man might be able to become a champion trainer at such a young age because of his family background. But now it seems that it is obviously not that simple. This young man not only has a powerful beast in his hands, but also has a very strong command ability. Let me see how effective your tactics are. Sunhai's eyes became sharp, and he quickly issued an attack order to the fossil pterosaur. Fossil pterosaur, use rock blockade. Sunhai began to launch an offensive. He wanted to see whether Molter's, after losing its fire attribute, could turn defeat into victory and defeat the fossil pterosaur whose attribute was extremely restrained. The fossil pterosaur was naturally under great pressure when facing the divine beast. Although he had a natural advantage in attributes, the opponent was a noble divine beast after all. Under Sunhai's tactical arrangement, the fossil pterosaur created several huge rocks and smashed them down from the sky, trying to block the flame bird in them. Flame bird, take this attack, and then we will use the divine bird to attack. After the flame bird lost its fire attribute, Zhang Cheng began to become more confident. Now the half-blooded flame bird will not be defeated, even if it takes a delayed attack from the opponent. He wanted the flame bird to accumulate strength first to launch the divine bird to attack, and directly ignore the opponent's first attack. A large number of huge rocks fell down, and the flame bird was instantly severely damaged. The double restraint effect was still very strong. The half-blooded flame bird was directly smashed into a residual blood state. Looking at the flame bird that had fallen into residual blood, Zhang Cheng's eyes were full of excitement. As long as the flame bird could still fight, it would have a great chance. The flying energy had been accumulated. The flame bird raised its proud head and looked at the fossil pterosaur with fierce eyes. The fossil pterosaur not far away was stared at by the fierce eyes of the flame bird, and unconsciously began to shrink back in fear. The flame bird, which was already at low health, gave the fossil pterosaur a very strong sense of oppression. The Divine Bird's Fierce Attack skill was activated, and the Flame Bird's light body rushed over quickly and hit the fossil pterosaur's abdomen hard. This attack successfully triggered all the additional effects of the Divine Bird's Fierce Attack. While hitting the vital point of the fossil pterosaur, it also made it fall into a state of shrinking. Zhang Cheng felt a little surprised that he could hit the vital point, but he had thought about falling into a state of shrinking. Because before the Flame Bird's attack hit, the fossil pterosaur had already felt fear, and after being hit by this attack, it was likely to trigger this effect. The fossil pterosaur has a resistance effect to flying skills, but now the hit to the vital point and this resistance effect cancel each other out. Without this attribute advantage, the Flame Bird's fierce attack directly knocked off 2/5 of the fossil pterosaur's health. After suffering such a horrible injury, the pterosaur could not move because it was already in a state of shrinking. With half of its health left, it had lost 2/5 of its health. It was now in imminent danger. If it was attacked again, it would most likely lose its combat effectiveness. Chapter 468, Zap disappears. Well done, Molters. Use your last free fall skill to take away the pterosaur. Zhang Cheng's order came down immediately. The pterosaur was in a state of shrinking at this time. It was a golden opportunity. Molters attached the flying energy to its claws, and then quickly came to the top of the pterosaur, and firmly fixed the pterosaur with its sharp and strong claws. Then the two Pokémon flew into the sky together, and then Molters mercilessly loosened its claws. The immobile pterosaur, under the influence of inertia and gravity, hit the ground of the battlefield with great impact force. The pterosaur with low health could not withstand such a torment. When it landed on the ground, its health was emptied, and it fainted and lost its ability to fight. Pterosaur, you have done well. Come back. This is not your problem. After Sunhai comforted the pterosaur, he took him back to the Pokéball. I didn't expect your Molters to be so powerful. It defeated 2 of my Pokémons in a row. Sunhai recognized Zhang Cheng's Molters very much. Although the legendary beast is powerful, if the trainer who commands it is not capable enough, it will not be able to exert its power. And Zhang Cheng is just that kind of trainer with strong command ability and strength, who has brought the power of Molters to the extreme. But you are not the only one who has a legendary beast. I, an old man, have been in the martial arts world for so many years, and I still have some strength in my hands. Sunhai changed the subject and said, the league's assessment requirements for champion-level trainers are not as simple as before. Young man, you must be mentally prepared. Come on, senior, I'm ready. I feel that your next Pokémon is likely to be a legendary beast, am I right? Zhang Cheng said with a smile. Ha ha ha, young man, you are very smart, so I won't fool you. As soon as Sunhai finished speaking, a Pokéball fell on the battlefield. Zapdos, it's decided to be you. An electric bird Pokémon with a yellow body and all its feathers blown up appeared in the air of the battlefield. Zhang Cheng looked at the Zapdos that appeared on the field. Although he had known that the other party would send out a sacred beast, he was still a little surprised. Because he didn't expect that the sacred beast sent by the other party was actually the same type of 3 sacred birds as the flamingo, a combination of electric and flying attributes. The Zapdos has a restraining effect on the Molters, because Molters has the attribute of flying and is more afraid of electricity, including Articuno. I didn't expect that the senior also has a 3 sacred birds. I will definitely try my best to defeat it. Zhang Cheng is full of confidence in himself. While communicating with Sunhai, Zhang Cheng also turned on the detection system, aimed his sight at the lightning in the air, and checked his specific data. Name, Zapdos, level 80, gender, male qualification, S attributes, electricity, flying carrying props, magnet, a powerful magnet. When a Pokémon carries this prop, the power of skills with the same electric attribute will be increased. Basic skills, pecking, electric shock, electromagnetic wave, see-through, pecking, primal power, charging, feather roosting, impact, high-speed movement, discharge, pray for rain, light wall, pecking drill, thunder, magnetic field control, electromagnetic gun learning skills, hold, destruction light, fly, 100,000 volts, shadow clone, steel wings, swallow return, extreme speed return, charging beam, crazy volt inherited skills, none characteristics, static electricity. Pokémon with this characteristic will have static electricity on their bodies, and there is a chance to paralyze the opponent who touches them. Notes, Zapdos, an electric shock Pokémon. The legendary bird Pokémon, it makes a bursting sound when flying. From the overall data, Sun Hai's Zapdos is not much different from Zhang Cheng's own Moltres. The flying skills learned by the two Pokémons are basically the same, the difference lies in the fire attribute skills and the electric attribute skills. The current Moltres lost its fire attribute because of the use of the burnout skill, and now only has a single flying attribute. Facing Zapdos, there is basically no big chance of winning. Its own health value is not much, and the only attribute it has now is the attribute that is restrained by the opponent. Zapdos, use 100,000 volts. Sun Hai knew that Zapdos was the dominant party, so he chose to attack first and use 100,000 volts to hit Moltres. A large number of electric sparks appeared on the body of Zapdos, and the powerful 100,000 volt high voltage current quickly formed and hit Moltres. Molten Zog, use Flame Vortex. Zhang Cheng did not choose to let Moltres defend. In this situation, it is better to choose to consume more of Zapdos' health than to defend. Now he has 4 Pokémons that can fight, and Sun Hai's Zapdos is already his 5th Pokémon. In the current situation, he does not need to passively defend at all. As long as he lets Moltres destroy the opponent's state, its mission will be completed. After defeating the 2 elf Moltres of the other side in a row, it also felt that it had enough. Facing the Zapdos, which was also a mythical beast, it showed no fear and directly accumulated flames and launched a Flame Vortex. Although it had lost the fire attribute, Moltres was still very skilled in the use of fire attribute skills. It quickly created a Flame Vortex and surrounded Zapdos. The Flame Vortex will continue to attack Zapdos for a period of time, reducing its health. Zapdos' 100,000 volts also successfully hit. Needless to say, its already limited health points were directly emptied, and it fell from the air and hit the ground. Moltres, you are the biggest contributor to this game. Zhang Cheng took out the Pokéball and took back the Moltres that had lost its combat ability. This time, Moltres exceeded its task and directly gained a huge advantage. Zapdos is proficient in electric skills. In this case, let's have a clash between the mythical beast and the mythical beast of electric, to see who is the strongest in the electric field. Zhang Cheng looked at the Zapdos flying over the battlefield, and suddenly an idea popped up in his mind. He wanted his Zeraora to fight with Zapdos. He believed that Zeraora must be looking forward to such a battle, a duel between a mythical beast and a mythical beast. Zhang Cheng is not the kind of person who is fussy. Once he thought of it, he would immediately take action. He took out Zeraora's Pokéball from behind and threw it on the battlefield. Zeraora, let's have a fierce battle. Chapter 469 Zeraora vs Zapdos. A red beam of light shot out, and Zeraora's figure appeared in the battlefield. It's the electric-type fantasy beast Zeraora, Sun Hai said in surprise. It seems that this is a very interesting battle, an electric-type fantasy beast fighting a mythical beast. I am also looking forward to this battle. Is the lightning bird stronger, or is my Zeraora better? Zhang Cheng said with a smile. Young people nowadays are really getting more and more powerful. They can subdue fantasy beasts and mythical beasts at this age. Shanghai is now increasingly unable to see through Zhang Cheng. Regarding this point, Normal did not say too much, but concentrated on the battle. The lightning bird is not so easy to deal with. Because of the existence of the electric attribute, the flying lightning bird is not afraid of electric skills. However, Zeraora also has his own advantages, that is, it has a resistance effect on both electric and flying skills. In terms of attributes, Zhang Cheng's side is still more advantageous, and Zeraora's chances of winning will be greater. Zapdos, use Thunder Attack. Sun Hai also knew that his side was a little passive, so he chose to attack decisively and catch the opponent's Zeraora off guard. The lightning bird frantically flapped its wings, gathering electrical energy to form a powerful lightning bolt, which fell from the sky and struck Zeraora. Zeraora, we can't fall behind. Use all your strength to use the Plasma Lightning Fist. Zeraora has an advantage in attributes, so Zhang Cheng naturally won't choose to passively defend, and directly choose to let Zeraora use powerful physical attack and electrical skills to fight the opponent head-on. Plasma Lightning Fist is a move that Zeraora is very good at. It can not only cause high damage to the opponent, but also allow itself to be accompanied by plasma current, so that the general skills used next will also be blessed by the electrical system. Zeraora exerted force with both fists, madly accumulating plasma current in his hands to form a lightning ball. A powerful plasma lightning ball was formed, and Zeraora clenched his fists, exerted force on his body, and slammed into the lightning. The Plasma Lightning Fist and the Thunder Attack collided with each other, and Zeraora directly passed through the lightning and came in front of the lightning bird. The plasma lightning fist carrying the lightning ball blasted out and hit the body of the lightning bird hard. The lightning bird was severely damaged, its health value was quickly reduced, and it lost its balance and fell to the ground. In this first fight between the two sides, Zeraora had a great advantage. Although the power of the thunder skill was strong, Zeraora was immune to electric skills. Because the characteristic of the Phantom Beast Zeraora was to store electricity, this characteristic caused it to not only not be hurt when it was attacked by electric skills, but also restore its health. The flying attribute attached to the lightning bird not only did not bring any benefits to the lightning bird, but also made it lose its resistance to electric skills. I didn't expect the Phantom Beast Zeraora to have the characteristic of storing electricity. It seems that I can only use flying skills to attack. Sunhai's eyes were very sharp. He soon discovered the characteristic of Zeraora's storage of electricity, and electric skills had no effect on it at all. Zapdos, use fly. Zapdos doesn't know how to use the ultimate flying skill of the Divine Bird Slam, so Sunhai can only choose to settle for the next best thing and let him use the strongest flying skill he has mastered so far. After receiving the order from the previous year, Zapdos used the flying energy to quickly fly high into the sky, and used the power of the flying system to find the right time to launch an offensive. Zeraora, don't worry about Zapdos, just use charge on the spot, because Zeraora has a resistance effect on flying skills. Even if the opponent's attack hits once, it will not have much impact. Zhang Cheng's tactic is to let Zeraora absorb the electric attribute energy through charging first, increase the power of the next electric skill, and use a powerful electric skill to directly hit or even defeat Zapdos. Zeraora ignored Zapdos directly, and according to the instructions of his trainer, absorbed all the electric energy around him into his body for charging. Seeing that Zeraora ignored him at all, Zapdos was immediately very angry, and quickly controlled the flying energy to attack Zeraora from the sky. A large amount of flying energy hit Zeraora's body, but it didn't have a very good effect. Zeraora's health was only knocked down by nearly a quarter. Now it's time for us to counterattack. Zeraora, use your strongest attack, the ultimate impact. After the charging skill was completed, Zhang Cheng began to launch Zeraora's strongest attack. With a plasma lightning fist as a prelude, the ultimate impact skill used by Zeraora can be attached with the electric attribute, and then the charging skill can be used to conquer the power of the next electric skill. In this way, the original general type ultimate impact can be turned into an electric skill that can enjoy the power bonus of the original system, and can also enjoy the additional increase brought by the charging skill. The intermediate impact skill with a basic value of up to 150, after the electric attribute is attached, combined with the increase of a charging skill, will be a very terrifying effect. Zeraora nodded to his trainer. It has trained this tactic many times in normal times and is very proficient in it. Rich electric energy gathered from all around, and the electric energy in the body also exploded wildly. Zeraora quickly launched an offensive while surrounded by electric energy, and the whole body launched a fierce attack. Zapdos, use the hold skill quickly. As a senior trainer, Sunhai was also frightened after seeing Zeraora's terrifying plasma ultimate impact skill. He only now knew that the Phantom Beast could actually exert such a powerful force. Although he had encountered some Phantom Beasts before, their trainers generally did not know much about the Phantom Beasts and could not maximize their strength. Zhang Cheng in front of him was the first trainer Sunhai had seen who could fully exert the abilities of the Phantom Beasts and maximize the effects of the Phantom Beasts. Faced with such a terrifying move, Sunhai had no other countermeasures and could only be forced to let Zapdos defend with the hold barrier. Feeling the strong sense of oppression, Zapdos, as a mythical beast, also began to instinctively accumulate energy to create a barrier. This plasma impact also made him feel terrified. A solid barrier formed in front of the lightning bird to resist Zeraora's crazy attack. Zeraora's entire body carried a terrifying electric force and hit the barrier hard. The barrier lasted less than 3 seconds before it collapsed in an instant. Chapter 470 Defeat Zapdos. Only a small amount of energy was consumed in breaking the barrier. Zeraora carried most of the remaining energy and slammed into the body of Zapdos. Zapdos was like being hit by a giant lightning hammer. Its entire body fell rapidly and hit the ground on the battlefield, raising a cloud of dust. Zapdos' health value dropped rapidly, and it was already less than half, and it was in a very dangerous state. On the other hand, Zeraora had only suffered minor damage just now. Now the gap between the two Pokémons has widened. Zapdos, use Feather Roost. After Zeraora used the ultimate impact skill, it would fall into a state of stiffness for a period of time. Sunhai used this precious time to quickly let Zapdos use Feather Roost to recover. Gentle flying energy appeared on Zapdos' body, and these gentle rays of light were healing its injuries. After being treated by this skill, Zapdos finally recovered to a relatively healthy state. Zhang Cheng looked at the Zapdos whose health value had improved again, and he felt a little regretful. The last attack of Plasma Ultimate Shock failed to defeat Zapdos, and things would become a little troublesome. But the problem was not big. Zeraora had a very high winning rate, and Zhang Cheng still had many other Pokémon that had not been deployed. It was no exaggeration to say that he had already stepped half a foot into the Hall of Champion Trainers. Zeraora, use Crazy Volt. The next battle became very simple. Zhang Cheng only needed to let Zeraora continue to use electric skills to consume Zapdos. When Zapdos' health value reached the killing line of Plasma Ultimate Shock, he could use this powerful skill to directly defeat Zapdos. Zeraora followed Zhang Cheng's instructions and continued to use Crazy Volt to attack. Finally, after Zeraora dropped to half of its health, Zapdos' health value finally reached the killing line. Now Zapdos' health was so low that even if it used the defense skill to take damage, it could not withstand this attack. Zeraora, use this last Plasma Lightning Punch to defeat Zapdos and prove with actual actions who is the king of electric Pokémon. Zhang Cheng issued the final attack order, asking Zeraora to do his best to kill Zapdos in one go. This moment was also of great significance to Zeraora. After receiving Zhang Cheng's order, Zeraora skillfully launched the ultimate charge again. Wrapped in the plasma current, Zeraora quickly rushed towards Zapdos and launched the ultimate charge skill. Zapdos, show your courage and use the last swallow return attack. Sunhai, with his rich combat experience, also judged that Zapdos could not stop this attack even if it used the defensive skill. So he chose to fight to the end, and before losing the ability to fight, he consumed as much of Zeraora's health as possible to create a greater opportunity for his last Pokémon. Zapdos understood what his trainer meant, and quickly flapped his wings, gathering the last strength on his wings, and rushed towards Zeraora with a determined look. The two elves collided in midair, and the flying energy hit Zeraora's body, and the huge electric energy also hit the body of Zapdos in an instant. Zapdos flew backwards like a kite with a broken string, and fell to the ground. Its health value rapidly decreased, and it directly lost its combat ability. Zeraora was also injured to a certain extent, and now its health value has reached only 1/3. This is not your problem. I have tried my best. Come back, Zapdos. Sunhai first comforted Zapdos, and then took it back. Because Zapdos will definitely blame itself for this battle. If I go to your house and don't comfort it in time, it may leave a certain shadow on Zapdos. As an electric-type mythical beast elf, it must have its own pride, but it was defeated so miserably in the face of Zeraora, an electric-type fantasy beast. Zapdos must be unacceptable. Although it is at a disadvantage in terms of attributes, losing is losing. As a mythical beast, it is definitely not easy for him to accept it. After being comforted by the trainer, Xingde Bird felt better, and the knot in his heart was untied. After this, I believe you have reached the level of a champion trainer, but this battle must continue. I want to see where your limit is. Sunhai's eyes flashed, and he took out the last Pokeball and threw it on the battlefield. He wanted to see how much strength Zhang Cheng still had hidden, and how much surprise he could bring him. Come out and fight, Latius. The red light in the Pokeball shone, and the Pokemon that always gave people a very strong sense of oppression appeared. The last Pokemon Sunhai sent out for this test was the Dragon-type beast Latius. Zhang Cheng looked at Latius standing in the air in front of him, and immediately took a breath of cold air. He didn't expect the alliance to be so cruel, and the last Pokemon in the test was a Dragon-type beast. And Zhang Cheng remembered that Sunhai's evolution crystal had never been used, which meant that Zhang Cheng was facing a mega-evolved Dragon-type beast. Zhang Cheng only now realized that the assessment of champion trainers is completely different from every previous assessment. In the previous assessment, as long as you have enough strength, you can easily complete it even if your qualifications this year are not high. In the previous assessment, the qualifications of the Pokemon sent by the Alliance are generally relatively mediocre. As long as the trainers who participate in the assessment are strong enough, they can pass it. But this champion trainer assessment is completely different. If a trainer relies on long-term efforts and does not get any legendary beasts or powerful fantasy beasts and dragon Pokémons, even if his 6 Pokémons are over level 80, they may not be able to pass this assessment. Because the Pokémon sent by the assessment party is too powerful, and the assessor is still a senior champion trainer. If an ordinary trainer does not have a very powerful Pokémon, even if he has superb command skills, he will not be able to pass the assessment. This point can't help but make Zhang Cheng very emotional. It is not realistic to want to become a top champion trainer just by hard work. You also need a strong background and very good opportunities. Just like if he himself did not subdue the legendary beast Moltres and 2 fantasy beasts, this assessment might be very difficult for him. Even though he defeated the first 4 Pokémon, when he met Zapdos and Latias, he would only feel deep despair. Chapter 471 Super Latias. But there is no if now. Zhang Cheng is not the kind of trainer who does not have any powerful Pokémon. Now he has powerful mythical beasts and legendary beasts in his hands, and he has an absolute advantage in this battle. Facing Latias, his chances of winning are still very high. The surprise just now was just associated with the difficulties of ordinary people. He is not an ordinary person. He must win this battle. Zhang Cheng quickly adjusted his state, turned on the detection system, and began to check the specific data of Latias. Name, Latias, level 80, gender, male qualification, S attributes, psychic, dragon carrying items, heart drop, a very mysterious water drop. When Latias and Latias carry it, the power of the psychic and dragon skills used will be improved. Basic skills, psychic wave, mystical guardian, parting gift, help, recovery blockade, hold, dragon dance, auxiliary power, refresh, healing wave, dragon breath, cleansing light, psychic transfer, self-regeneration, mind hammer, mind moving, dragon wave, psychic power, power sharing learning skills, flying, surfing, freeze beam, destruction beam, solar beam, 100,000 volts, thunder, light wall, reflection wall, dragon claw, shadow ball, feather roost, psychic shock, grass not inherited skills, none characteristics, floating. Pokémon with this characteristic will float from the ground and will not be attacked by ground-based skills. Notes: Latias, an infinite Pokémon. Even if it disappears without a trace, it still has telepathy, so it can know the location and mood of its partners. It has the intelligence to understand human language. Latias is a dragon-type Pokémon with a racial value of 600. It is very powerful in combat. Although it has no inherited skills, it has mastered many basic skills, and the trainer has taught it a lot of learning skills. Generally speaking, this Latias can use all kinds of attributes, and is best at psychic and dragon-type tricks. The props it carries are also tailor-made drops of heart, which can increase the power of Latias's dragon-type and psychic-type skills at the same time. The existence of the floating characteristic allows Latias to be immune to the damage of an attribute skill, making him more powerful. Latias, Mega Evolution. As Zhang Cheng expected, Sunhai directly took out the evolution crystal, and a stream of pure energy from the dragon and psychic systems was injected into Latias' body. Latias's appearance changed from the original blue to purple, and his racial occupation was greatly increased from the original 600 to 700. With a physical attack of 130 and a special attack of 160, both teams are not weak. The only disadvantage is that their health is relatively low, but it is not a big disadvantage. This Super Latias is the last threshold to become a champion-level trainer. No matter what method is used, as long as it can be defeated, it can become a champion-level trainer recognized by the official league. Zorora, use the Plasma Lightning Fist again. Although the electric skills have a poor effect on Super Latias with dragon attributes, Zhang Cheng does not have many ways to deal with it. Zorora is best at electric skills. He can only let Zorora do some damage to Super Latias as much as possible, and then let INC fight the final battle. Although Zorora has been left with residual blood and facing a super evolved beast with a racial value of 700, he has no fear at all. Rich electric energy attached to his fist, his legs burst, and he quickly came to Latias with all his strength. With a jump, he blasted out the Plasma Lightning Fist in his hand. Super Latias, Mind Hammer. Sunhai commanded Super Latias to counterattack slowly. After Super Latias appeared, Sunhai became very confident and calmer in commanding. This is the sense of security brought by the super evolved beast, which can give trainers a great advantage. Facing the powerful attack of Zorora, Super Latias looked very calm. He attached the psychic energy to the top of his head at a very fast speed and hit Zorora's fist. The two forces of different attributes collided. Super Latias had the bonus of the heart drop and extremely high double attack. Zorora was not an opponent at all. As the two forces continued to collide, the plasma current received by Law was finally dispersed, and Superlacious' head was on Zoroark's abdomen. Zoroark lost his strength and his whole body fell from midair. Originally, he had only about 1/3 of his health, and now he was beaten to thread. Zoroark, use electromagnetic waves. Zhang Cheng knew that Zoroark was already at the end of his strength and didn't have much time to use other skills, because Superlacious was about to launch an attack. So he immediately made a decision to let Zoroark use electromagnetic waves for the last time. If it could hit Superlacious, it would be of great help in the next battle. Zoroark reacted very quickly and immediately began to absorb electrical energy and create a large amount of electromagnetic waves. In terms of attack and defense, Zoroark was not as good as Superlacious, but Zoroark was better in speed. The electromagnetic waves created directly fell on the body of Superlacious at a lightning speed. Superlacious instantly fell into a paralyzed state, and its speed was greatly reduced. Young people are so cunning. Superlacious, use Dragon Claws. Sun Hai was a little surprised to see Zhang Cheng use electromagnetic waves, because this move was rarely used in such a high-level battle. But Zhang Cheng couldn't understand it with ordinary people's thinking. The electromagnetic wave might be even better than using other skills. Because after the paralysis effect is triggered, it has a great impact on the subsequent battle of a Pokémon. Superlacious was also very angry after being plotted against. Under the order of the trainer, he used dragon energy to create a Dragon Claw. After the Dragon Claw was formed, Superlacious came to the dying Zoroark, waved his claws, and directly emptied Zoroark's health. Zoroark, you have done a good job. Let's leave it to other Pokémons next. Zhang Cheng took out the Pokéball and took back Zoroark, who had lost his combat ability. Now he still has two Pokémons that can fight. As long as he defeats Superlacious with these two Pokémons, he can become a champion-level trainer recognized by the league. Chapter 472 Diancie vs Latius. I'm looking forward to what kind of Pokémon you will send out next. If you don't have any mythical or magical beasts in your hand, I think it will be difficult for you to pass this test today, Sun Hai said as he looked at Zhang Cheng who had taken back Zoroark. Superlacious is very strong. If Zhang Cheng only has two ordinary Pokémon now, it is basically impossible to defeat Superlacious. To be able to reach this point, I must have a trump card in my hand. How many trainers will release their trump cards in advance? Zhang Cheng said with a smile. I actually let Zoroark and Moltres fight so early, so I naturally have a powerful finale Pokémon. Diancie, get ready to fight. Zhang Cheng took out a Pokéball and threw it on the battlefield. A petite and cute figure appeared. Zhang Cheng still had two Pokémon that could fight, Frog and Diancie, but in order to make a quick decision, Zhang Cheng did not let Superlacious live too long. So he chose to let Diancie fight directly. If Frog was sent out first, it would at most consume the state of Superlacious and could not defeat it. In this case, something unexpected may happen. If Superlacious takes the opportunity to greatly improve its own attributes, it will be more passive when Diancie comes on the field. Oh? A fairy-type fantasy beast, Sun Hai has a wide range of experience. After Diancie came on the field, he immediately recognized her. Sun Hai's expression was a little uncomfortable. Superlacious's strongest skill is the dragon skill. Now he has met a fairy-type elf. Not only will he be restrained, but his own dragon skills have no effect. I didn't expect it, I really didn't expect it. Although Sun Hai had long recognized Zhang Cheng's strength, he didn't expect that he still had so many mythical beasts and fantasy beasts. Diancie, Mega Evolution. Zhang Cheng directly took out Diancie's evolution crystal, and a very pure fairy-type energy and rock-type energy were sent out together and infused into Diancie's body. After Diancie in the air received this power increase, her whole body changed a lot. The originally petite and cute body now became very domineering, giving people a very shocking feeling. Diancie completed Mega Evolution and became Super Diancie. Her racial values in all aspects were greatly enhanced, and her defense power was slightly reduced. Superlacious, use Psychic Power. After the dragon skills could not be used, Sun Hai chose to let Superlacious use Psychic skills. With Superlacious' extremely high special attack, the Psychic skills used by Superlacious did not have a restraining effect on Diancie, but they could still cause high damage. Superlacious emitted a powerful psychic energy from his body, which formed a strong mental blow and was sent to Super Diancie. Super Diancie used the power of the moon. Since the opponent was restrained by the fairy skills and dared to take the initiative to attack, Zhang Cheng would naturally not be afraid of the opponent and directly let Super Diancie use the fairy skills to exchange blood. Super Diancie nodded to Zhang Cheng and quickly absorbed a large amount of fairy energy to form a pink moon power. The moon power emitted a pink beam of light and attacked Superlacious. Superlacious' psychic power skill also hit Super Diancie's head. Because the two attacks were formed in different ways, they did not touch each other during the confrontation, and directly hit the elves of both sides. Diancie's defense was pretty good. After enduring Superlacious' very powerful psychic power skill, her health was knocked down by 1/3. On the other side, Superlacious was hit by the power of the moon, but it was not so good. Superlacious' defense was not as strong as Super Diancie, and now it was attacked by the fairy skills with attribute restrained, and its health was directly knocked down by nearly half. Super Diancie used the Light of Destruction directly. Zhang Cheng planned to defeat the opponent's Superlacious directly with a crushing attitude. Now he has reached the killing line with the Light of Destruction. Superlacious has now lost nearly half of his health. As long as this Light of Destruction is successfully sent out, even if Superlacious uses the skill of defending, it cannot be defended. Super Diancie looked solemn, her whole body floating in the sky, and all the fairy energy in the entire battlefield gathered in front of her. Super Diancie gathered all the energy together and compressed it to form a brilliant eternal flower. After the enchanting flower was formed, the petals closed tightly, as if it needed a lot of energy to bloom. What a terrifying skill! The experienced Sun Hai was also shocked by the Light of Destruction used by Super Diancie. This kind of strength of skill is not something that a level 80 Pokémon can do. Superlacious, Usefly, Sun Hai relied on his rich combat experience. This was the only way he could think of to dissolve the Light of Destruction. Superlacious still trusted the trainer's command very much. He directly vibrated his wings and rushed to the sky. With the blessing of the flying energy, Superlacious was faster and the distance he could reach was farther. It's useless. It's impossible to escape the attack range of the Light of Destruction by flying skills, because the Light of Destruction covers the entire battlefield. No matter where you escape, it will be useless, Zhang Cheng said proudly as he watched Superlacious rushing up to the sky. The Light of Destruction emitted by Super Diancie could not be resolved by this skill at all. While Superlacious was flying upwards, Super Diancie had already injected all the fairy energy that could be controlled into the Eternal Flower. With this huge amount of power, the petals of the Eternal Flower were finally opened. The moment the petals opened, the dazzling pink light enveloped the entire battlefield, including Superlacious in the sky. Superlacious' body was illuminated by the Light of Destruction, his health value dropped rapidly, and cracks began to appear on his skin all over his body. Although Superlacious tried desperately to defend himself, there was no way. He was wrapped in the Light of Destruction in the sky, and his health value kept dropping until it was finally emptied. Just like that, the huge body of Superlacious fell directly from the air. During the fall, the pure dragon and psychic energies in its body fell out and returned to the evolution crystal. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 473 Becoming a Champion Trainer. Superlacious lost a crystal energy and degenerated into Lacious, losing his ability to fight. Thank you for your hard work, Lacious. Sun Hai took out the Pokeball and took Lacious back. With Lacious' defeat, Zhang Cheng also successfully passed this assessment. Congratulations, you have passed the assessment and become a champion-level trainer certified by the League. Sun Hai was full of smiles. He liked Zhang Cheng, a junior, very much. With such a young champion-level trainer, their China will become stronger and stronger in the future. Thank you, Senior Sun, for showing mercy. If you try your best, I may not be your opponent. Facing Sun Hai, who is stronger and more experienced than him, Zhang Cheng's attitude is very kind. Okay, the assessment is over. Now you can go back to the hall to register. From now on, you will be a glorious champion-level trainer, Sun Hai said with a smile. Zhang Cheng thanked Sun Hai, bowed, and left the battle room. He came to the hall under the guidance of the staff. After a series of operations, Zhang Cheng successfully obtained the title of champion-level trainer. After getting the title of champion trainer, Zhang Cheng rested in the challenge. The injured elves have been handed over to the medical staff of the Elf Tower for treatment. After the elves are fully recovered, Zhang Cheng can leave here. While waiting, many staff members of the Challenge Tower came to talk to Zhang Cheng. Obviously, he has become a champion trainer. Such a young champion trainer has unlimited future prospects. Now is the only opportunity for ordinary staff like them to contact such a big man, so they will naturally not let it go. However, Zhang Cheng has no interest in these people. There are also many beautiful young lady staff members who take the initiative to add contact information, but he declined them all. Now he just wants to concentrate on his career and quickly improve his strength. What he needs to do every day is to continuously improve his strength and find his father as soon as possible. As for other things, it doesn't matter. After the family is reunited in the future, he can do whatever he wants. Now, don't think about these things. After all the elves were treated, Zhang Cheng took the elf ball, thanked the medical staff, and drove the molten bird away. Through this champion-level trainer assessment, Zhang Cheng has become more aware of the importance of Pokémon. It is not enough to have only good command skills. The Pokémon's racial value, attributes and strength in all aspects must be there. If you have command ability but don't have a powerful Pokémon in your hand, it won't work at all. Now Zhang Cheng plans to learn about some news about mythical beasts and phantom beasts through various channels. He wants to raise the overall strength of his team to a higher level. News about phantom beasts and mythical beasts is naturally extremely precious, and it is definitely not so easy to obtain in a short period of time. After returning to his residence in the Magic City, Zhang Cheng first took a good rest, and then started crazy training day and night. In half a year, the 3 mythical beasts and phantom beasts in his hands have been upgraded to level 85, and their strength has also been greatly enhanced. For the other 3 Pokémon, Zhang Cheng's current training will be relatively less, because he has to focus on phantom beasts and mythical beasts. If you want to become a stronger trainer, you must not only improve the level of Pokémon, but also capture better Pokémon. In the end, Zhang Cheng finally found the relevant information of another phantom beast after inquiring through various channels. He got this information from Bai Yuling. Some time ago, their family discovered that there was a shaman in the Sky City. However, many trainers went to look for it, but in the end they all returned empty-handed. Bai Yuling told Zhang Cheng this information after knowing that Zhang Cheng was asking about the news of the mythical beasts and the legendary beasts. After learning this situation, Zhang Cheng did not hesitate at all and immediately prepared to go to the Sky City. As long as there is hope, he will try it. If he really finds Shaman, it will be a great improvement to his lineup. Shaman is a grass and flying dual attribute fantasy beast, with 2 forms, land and sky. The land form is a single grass attribute, and the sky form is a dual attribute of grass and flying. His team is currently lacking grass attribute Pokémon. If he can get a grass-type Pokémon, it will definitely be the best result. Zhang Cheng already has enough experience in capturing mythical beasts and legendary beasts. After getting the news, he immediately went to the Pokémon store to buy a large number of Pokéballs. If he wants to subdue legendary beasts and mythical beasts, then sufficient Pokéballs are essential. To catch them, at least 100 Pokéballs are needed to be prepared, which is safe. Then Zhang Cheng bought a large number of energy cubes as food for the Pokémons on the road. The Sky City exists at the top of an ocean. It is an unmanned area, which is somewhat similar to the unmanned power station before. However, this place is quite special. Last year, the family must be led by some powerful flying Pokémons to enter the Sky City. There is very strong air resistance around the Sky City. Ordinary flying Pokémons like Toucan and Pidgeot cannot reach such a place at all. Fortunately, Zhang Cheng has a mythical beast like Moltres, so he doesn't have to worry about this problem. Moltres can easily enter the Sky City. After everything was ready, Zhang Cheng released Moltres, and after confirming the direction of the Sky City, he let Moltres start flying and rush to the destination. Because the demon capital is relatively close to the sea, with Moltres at full speed, they only took half a day to reach the Sky City. The Sky City is a very magical building. The entire Sky City is a huge palace that floats above the clouds. After arriving at the Sky City, Zhang Cheng took out the map that Bai Yuling gave him and began to conduct a carpet search. The people of Bai Yuling's family had been to the Sky City several times, so they had already drawn the map of the Sky City, which saved Zhang Cheng a lot of time. In the following time, Zhang Cheng released all the elves and began to search for Zimi. After spending a whole day searching, Zhang Cheng had walked through every corner of the Sky City, but still did not find any trace of Zimi. There were even very few elves that could be seen, and only some powerful flying elves could enter here. The previous search frenzy has passed, and now no trainers have come to the Sky City to look for Zimi, and only a small number of the native elves here have appeared. Fortunately, Zhang Cheng prepared enough food in advance, otherwise, they would be forced to leave here because of hunger. Chapter 474 Zimi. After taking out the food prepared in advance and filling his stomach, Zhang Cheng and the elves continued to search. He was not a person who would give up easily. Zhang Cheng turned the entire Sky City upside down again, but still could not find where Zimi was. Just when Zhang Cheng was about to give up, Diancie suddenly discovered something. "Dad, there is a strange energy fluctuation behind this wall of the hall. There should be a powerful elf." Diancie pointed to the stone wall not far away and said. Hearing what Diancie said, Zhang Cheng's eyes lit up. He had searched everywhere and couldn't find Zimi. If there was really another world behind this, Zimi must be there. Diancie used the power of the moon to attack this stone wall. Zhang Cheng no longer hesitated and quickly asked Diancie to attack to see if he could break this stone wall. Diancie floated in the air, used the fairy energy in her body to form a strong moon power, and slammed it hard on the stone wall. Boom! The power of the moon easily shattered the stone wall in front of him, and the scenery behind the stone wall came into Zhang Cheng's eyes. Behind the stone wall was a garden full of green plants. On a swing in the garden, there was a green elf like a little hedgehog. "Diancie, you are great." Zhang Cheng touched Diancie's head and praised. Diancie was very happy to be praised by the trainer, and rubbed Zhang Cheng's palm with her little head. The elf that appeared in front of Zhang Cheng was the land form of Shemi. Zhang Cheng brought the elves to the swing where Shemi was, and said directly, "Shemi, can you be my elf? There are many mythical beasts like you here. With them accompanying you, you won't be so bored alone." After hearing what Zhang Cheng said, Shemi began to think. Shemi was indeed very lonely. It wanted to find a partner to play with, but there were too few elves in the Sky City. Even if there were elves, they didn't dare to play with it. Zhang Cheng was not in a hurry, so he waited quietly for Shemi's answer. After thinking for nearly 5 minutes, Shemi said something to Diancie. "Dad, Shemi said that he can go with us, but we must defeat him and show our strength." Diancie told Zhang Cheng what Shemi meant. Zhang Cheng nodded, and he had already prepared himself. When conquering every mythical beast or legendary beast, fighting is definitely necessary. The legendary beasts and mythical beasts are very proud, and they are not willing to be defeated by a weaker trainer. "No problem, Shemi, let's start a battle now," Zhang Cheng said impatiently. After hearing what the human in front of him said, Shemi jumped off the swing, nodded, and his body changed greatly in an instant. From the original hedgehog, it turned into a little deer. The color of the little deer is composed of green and white, which looks very beautiful, petite and cute. Seeing that Shemi has entered the combat state, Zhang Cheng sent Diancie to fight. The two Pokémon came to an open space, staring at each other, tit for tat, and a battle is about to begin. According to the habit of fighting, Zhang Cheng turned on the system's detection function to check Zimi's various data in the sky form. Name, Zimi, level 83, gender, female, qualification, S attributes, grass, flying, carrying props, miracle seed, a very magical seed. After the elf carries this prop, the power of the grass type skills will become stronger. Basic skills, growth, magic leaf, parasitic seed, photosynthesis, sweet fragrance, nature's grace, trouble seed, aromatherapy, energy ball, angel's kiss, healing wish, seed flash, lightning flash, leaf storm, air/learning skills, none inherited skills, none characteristics, heaven's grace. Elves with this characteristic are more likely to trigger the additional effects when using skills with additional effects. Notes, Zimi, thank Pokémon. When the Gracitia flower blooms, it can change from the earth form to the sky form with pollen. It has the habit of migration. In sky form, Shaman has both grass and flying attributes. Because of the flying attribute, it is doubly restrained by Diancie's rock-type skills. But Diancie is also restrained by Shaman, because Diancie has rock-type attributes, which restrains Shaman's grass-type skills. Because this Shaman has no trainer, it has not mastered any learning skills, and it also has no inherited skills. The skills it has mastered are not very advanced. The racial value distribution of Shaman in land form is very balanced, with 6 racial values of 100. After changing to sky form, the double defense will be reduced, the double attack and speed will be improved, and the skills it has mastered will be more. Therefore, Shaman usually chooses to fight in sky form. Shaman looks very docile and cute, but in battle, she is not ambiguous at all. She directly uses the power of grass type to form an energy ball and hits Diancie. Diancie, use Diamond Storm. Zhang Cheng commanded Diancie to use the rock type skills that restrained Shaman, intending to let the two Pokémons fight head-on. Zhang Cheng did not let Diancie Mega evolve in this battle, just for the sake of fairness. If Super Diancie was allowed to fight, Shaman, who had too big a difference in race value and insufficient combat experience, would definitely be defeated. Let the two Phantom Elves fight head-on with the same race value, so that Shaman would be convinced and willing to be conquered by him. Diancie waved her tender little hand, controlling the rock energy to form energy gems, and fired at Shaman. Both elves intended to attack each other directly, and did not intend to collide through skills. This might be the pride of the Phantom Beasts. The emerald green energy ball hit Diancie's body. Although it had a double restraint effect, Diancie had 150 double defense before she super evolved. In the end, this energy ball only knocked off a quarter of Diancie's health. At the same time, a large number of energy diamonds swept out and hit Shaman's body. After Shaman entered the sky form, his defense decreased a bit. After being hit by the rock type skill that Diancie's attribute restrained, he lost 1/3 of his health. Shaman was very unhappy to see that he was suppressed by the opponent in the first fight. He quickly accumulated grass attribute energy and began to prepare for a terrible attack. The grass attribute energy of the entire battle area began to converge to Shaman's position, causing a great momentum. Chapter 475, Subjugating Zimi. Zimi gathered all the grass attribute energy together, forming a powerful shock wave in his body. This shock wave was accompanied by a rich green light, which was Zimi's exclusive special move, Seed Flash. As a special skill of the Phantom Beast, Seed Flash has the same power as Solar Beam, and it does not produce any side effects. It does not need to be charged, and can be directly released. After the skill hits, there is a chance that the opponent's special defense will be greatly reduced. In this comparison, the grass attribute big moves such as Leaf Storm and Solar Beam are not good enough, and they are directly defeated by the Seed Flash skill. This is also one of the reasons why the Phantom Beasts are powerful. In addition to having very high racial values, they also have their own powerful skills that other ordinary elves cannot learn. A powerful shock wave was emitted from Zimi's body, and he quickly attacked Diancie. Diancie, use guard. Zhang Cheng knew that Zimi's attack this time was its strongest attack, so he decisively chose to defend first and withstand this attack. Diancie floated in the air and used her control over the elemental power to quickly create a solid barrier to guard. The Seed Flash shockwave from Shaman hit the barrier, and it took a lot of grass energy to break the barrier. The remaining energy hit Diancie's body, reducing Diancie's health to half. Diancie used the sharp stone attack. After the defense was successful, Zhang Cheng quickly commanded Diancie to counterattack and knock out as many status points as possible from Shaman. After receiving the order from Zhang Cheng, Diancie quickly waved her hands, turned the rock energy into sharp stones, and shot at Shaman in the air. Shaman didn't have time to dodge, and was hit in the vitals by the sharp stones. He was severely injured in an instant, and his health was reduced to only the last quarter. Shaman let out a painful cry, and quickly organized his strength to use photosynthesis to restore his health. The surrounding grass energy turned into a gentle light, all gathered around Shaman, healing the damage he had just suffered. Zimi's health began to rise slowly. Zhang Cheng naturally couldn't watch Zimi recover all the time. As soon as Zimi used photosynthesis, Zhang Cheng had already issued an attack order. Diancie, don't let her recover energy, use recovery block. Diancie had used the recovery block skill in the previous battle with the shield blade. After the skill takes effect, the opponent's Pokémon will not be able to use recovery skills to recover health in a short period of time. A mysterious super energy absorption energy shot out from Diancie's body, and this energy quickly hit Zimi. Zimi, who was using photosynthesis, was hit by the recovery block skill. The gentle light that originally surrounded him gradually dissipated, and he was not able to successfully heal Zimi. Seeing that his recovery ability was blocked, Zimi was a little panicked. This was the first time he encountered such a situation. Although he had fought against it before, he had never encountered a Pokémon that could use this trick. Diancie used Diamond Storm again to suppress Zimi's health. After the recovery block skill took effect, All Zhang Cheng needed to do was to reduce Zimi's health to a relatively low level before conquering him. Diancie nodded to the trainer and skillfully controlled the rock energy to create a large number of diamond energy bodies. After these diamond energy bodies were formed, they were controlled by Diancie's power and all shot at the already seriously injured Shamey. Seeing the incoming diamond storm, Shamey chose to collide head-on, and also launched its best skill, Seed Flash, to attack the incoming diamond energy bodies. A large amount of green light appeared, and a powerful shock wave burst out from Shamey's body, colliding with the diamond storm. Boom! Boom! The two powerful rock energy and grass energy collided wildly, and finally the two forces staggered and hit each other after consuming some. Diancie was hit by the weakened Seed Flash, and her health was also knocked down a lot despite her high defense. On the other side, Shamey, who was at low health, was hit by the diamond storm, and her health was quickly reduced to only the last bit, lying on the ground and unable to move. Seeing that Shamey had no much resistance, Zhang Cheng quickly took out the Pokeball from his backpack and threw it at Shamey's body. His throwing skills were pretty good. The Pokeball hit Shamey accurately. A red light shone from the Pokeball and Shamey was taken in. After Shamey entered the Pokeball, the entire Pokeball fell to the ground and began to shake violently. When it shook for the second time, the Pokeball was directly broken and Shamey came out of the Pokeball. It seems that it is not so easy to capture Shamey, Zhang Cheng said as he looked at the first failure. Even if Shamey had agreed to be his Pokemon, he still had to use a large number of Pokeballs to successfully capture him. As a powerful mythical beast Pokemon, they all have their own pride and will instinctively break free when they are captured. Zhang Cheng was more patient and was not discouraged by the previous failure. He quickly took out the second Pokeball and threw it out. As expected, the capture still failed, and then another Pokeball was thrown out and hit Shamey on the head. This situation continued until Zhang Cheng threw out the 45th Pokeball. The 45th Pokeball was thrown out, and Shamey was collected in it. After shaking it 3 times in a row, Shamey did not break free, and the Pokeball fell to the ground without any other movement. Finally, I succeeded in catching Shamey. Zhang Cheng hurried over and picked up the Pokeball containing Shamey. Now he has 3 powerful mythical beasts and a mythical beast in his hands, and his combat power is very strong. Shamey, come out and heal your injuries first. Zhang Cheng released Shamey, who had been successfully captured. Shamey can use the photosynthesis skill and can now heal his injuries on his own. After being captured, Shamey became very close to Zhang Cheng. Shamey is a Pokemon with a relatively gentle personality, so he is naturally very close to his trainer. After receiving the instructions from his trainer, Shamey began to absorb grass energy on the spot to continue photosynthesis. With a burst of rich light, Shamey's previous injuries began to slowly recover. Diancie, you also use the recovery skill to heal your health first. After seeing that Shamey was fine, Zhang Cheng also asked Diancie to heal on the spot. Danger could occur at any time in the Sky City, so Zhang Cheng had to ensure that Diancie was in good condition to prevent any unexpected situations. Okay, Dad. Diancie nodded obediently, landed on the ground, and quickly absorbed energy to heal her injuries. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.